always a threat, and as well the Natalia for BREN Sports. Third ban's gonna mean a lot here because the Baksha has been taken out. That means the likes of Brody are still out there, the likes of Jahed, the likes of Benedetta. What else is out there? This feels like the Wild Wild West.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the Wild West as we see some ultra rapid fire bans coming our way. And we also seen that Brody has been picked up by Burmese Goals quite a number of times. That can, couple all these past matches out there. I know you're having a little bit of the grin as well. What do you have to say about this, Gideon?
I think Burmese Ghoul is honestly doing a really good job here, finally addressing the problem, and now they have to start thinking a little bit further than that. The problem is gone, but this presents a new environment, and now BREN, I'm pretty sure they've been preparing for this eventually when this Baxia was going to get banned out. As you mentioned, Leo, Brody is up on the table. However, high priority heroes of other sorts are going to start rising. Yuzong is going to be an absolute monster now that nothing is really going to be able to stop it. Lapu Lapu might be able to come back into the pool now that you can't necessarily negate his healing. So, just another couple of options, and mainly the offlaners who are going to make that difference. And here we go, Brody ban, Selena ban, and all of a sudden you got Matilda and Yuzong being locked in by BREN Esports.
Oh, I like what I'm seeing. Burmese Ghouls, they really value here the stock that they have in Matilda's kit, gonna be played by Kid in mid. And now BREN Esports, yeah, again, you mentioned it, this Yuzong is gonna run roughshod given that Burmese Ghouls are forced to build either the Necklace of Durance, a casual Deadly Blade, or the Sea Halberd to be able to call the healing here. And right now, it's either Few or Lusty that they have to prioritize. Hell, even Carl Tizzy would be fine here in this second pick.
Now, BREN Esports, they're probably thinking about getting the Claude now, or they should get a should they get a Benedetta? Those are the things that they really want for their team. Now, BREN Esports gets the Claude. Ace plays one mean Claude as well. So, this is the same as RRQ, to be honest, where BREN and RRQ just went for it for the Claude. They put their drafting patterns into play. It was a battle of just finding the right bans, and now BREN Esports got it.
Yeah, and going over down towards Boomer's goal side, there's still two more picks here. I'm looking at the possibility of contest of Cho, and would this actually benefit the side of Burmese goals, Gideon?
No, not especially. I mean, you can only start considering the Cho once you address the major problem, which is Sylvana, who's been an absolute menace in this tournament here. But now, BREN, they see, okay, you have a Sylvana. I'm going to be bringing out the Atlas here just to make sure, oh no, you get hit by the Imperial Justice, no worries, Fatal Links. And Perfect Match being a great answer to it.
That is one of the things that you really have to take into consideration when you're fighting against Burmese Ghouls. Now, what do these guys do best? They go for the 5-man rotations, they want to go for the clash. So going for a Cho won't really cut it. I mean, the only AoE you have is Jeet Kune Do. Then after that, it's done. But for the Atlas, Burmese Ghouls will be thinking, should we fight? Does he have Fatal Links?
Or is someone hiding in the bush?
Is someone hiding in the bush? So there are a lot more things to consider for Burmese Ghouls if they want to win that certain fight.
That's right. Going back in towards the bans, we already seen the Lunox being removed, but one question here, we haven't seen a ban on the Benedetta, and it's definitely an odd question because we've seen Burmese Ghouls didn't have that success in the past game, so
I think
they might miss it on this one.
In the earlier parts of M2 and even in the playoffs, yeah, Lapu Lapu and Benedetta have always been important. But now I think teams have gone to the point wherein they know what they need and when they need it very specifically. And right now, Lapu Lapu and Benedetta just not their priorities. They're starting to choke out these mages that could show up in the side lanes. Definitely Doc Ribos, Farsa, and for BREN Sports, they're just taking care of the Lunox, which may come from Ruby Didi as well. We know that he's capable of such. And right now, a second ban by BREN Sports. It's a tank taken away from maybe, hold up, that may have been quite, that seems like a waste.
I think that is a little bit of a waste for the side of BREN, especially when they've shown the Matilda as well as the Sylvana. But remember, Sylvana can be flexed. So again, BREN is just securing, making sure, like, okay, if this Sylvana is going to be a support, she is going to be a mid lane support. We want to ensure that. Burmese Ghouls, on the other hand, they're considering, we need to either get rid of Harith or Alice. Alice is decided to get taken off here because BREN need to make that choice as the off lanes still haven't been entirely complete. Yes, Claude could go there, but somebody has to show their cards first. first, and unfortunately, that's going to be BREN locking in the Benedetta.
Yeah, I'm liking the beauty of this draft because there's so much diversity just looking at Phase 1 as well as Phase 2. Now, BREN Esports finally get their hands on Benedetta, and I've definitely called this one much earlier. They kind of need somebody to deal with all these fast-moving targets.
Now, looking at it, BREN Esports, they got a lot of the big shots of the meta on their pool for the side of Burmese goals. This is going to be a side lane show.
Side lane show. I mean, yes, it can be a side lane show. It also could be a Sylvana show. That's kind of the problem with Sylvana. She doesn't have an instantaneous role. But now, here we go. The Lapu.
Oh, this lineup, pardon my words, looks a little cobbled together. It feels like it's trying to do so many things, and its team fights are odd, but it looks like it's very strong on the pickoff, which might be, I don't know, a delayed reaction to the Atlas.
It's like you don't want to fight because you have a show that can go for the split push, but at the same time, you want to fight because you have a Sylvana and a Lapu on your
And
side.
a Matilda.
Yeah.
The Matilda wants to start fights here, so BREN Esports, they also have quite an open book. They still need a hero for few.
I think at this point, even if they lock the Harith in, it's pretty much a pretty solid team composition coming in from BREN Esports. I mean, Farsa has already been taken out, so that just leaves with, you know, a couple of few mages that they could go for. They could arguably go for the Loyi if they really wanted to. And the final pick is going to be, still hasn't shown up just yet, but that gives me a little bit more time to kind of talk. The overtime, yes.
Kagura.
The Kagura.
Is it the Kagura?
I mean, it showed up behind them.
Oh, it did. It
Matches,
did.
yeah. Oh, no, what?
No,
It's a Kagura. It's a Kagura.
Yeah,
It's a Kagura.
Definitely a Kagura. Great that you spot that one out because I don't want to deal with two Claudes. Nobody wants to. It's partly impossible.
Yeah.
So, a very team fight oriented side for the side of BREN Esports. Something that they are bringing it time and time again. But Burmese goals, they have improved their run here, perhaps with Lapu Lapu. So, talk us through this top before we get ourselves in towards Landon.
Here, now Burmese Ghouls want to play a game where it's macroly sound. They want to go for split pushes. They want to have a little bit of elements of pick potentials to get these small skirmishes done. BREN, on the other side, complete team fighting composition. They want to go for those big dives. They want to go for those full 5v5s in the jungle. It's something they can be aware of because Burmese Ghouls, if they're still feeling nervous and they make the wrong decision, they could break.
And here we go, another game in the grand finals. It's the M2 World Championship 2020 M2. And Burmese Gold still looking for that point, and BREN Esports looking to lock themselves in towards match point.
Let's get it on, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be Kid, so brave, trying to stop Karltzy from this quick take. And Karltzy, mind you, already at less than half health.
This is the way you want to do it. Burmese Ghouls, they know that level 1 is stronger in BREN. They want a team fight, but not at level 1. What can they do? Kagura can try to zone them out, but level 1, she's pretty useless. Flapteezy on the other side, isn't going to be able to participate. Lusty can't push out, and the same goes for Few, who didn't react and start with a mid opening.
Butters, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
I'm seeing
Quite
what
the
you're
shuffle on
seeing.
BREN. Quite the shuffle.
That is going to be Few on that support Benedetta. Well, mid lane Benedetta, rather. And that is going to be very interesting since we do see Few on these kinds of heroes, but ever since he went to the mid lane, this has changed a lot. And as you can see here, he is punishing Kid and he's giving a hard time for Maybe. It just feels like Maybe is forced to use his skills on that Benedetta alone.
At this point in time, I think it's a pretty good opening coming in for the Burmese Ghouls. A great adaptation to say, hey, even though you do have a Benedetta in towards that mid lane, we're still going to put some damage into your jungler. Because remember, Karltzy, he is going to need a little bit of help on his first clear, and then after that, he's generally okay.
Yep.
The last time we saw a Kagura on the side lane, that was used by 10S Gaming Frost. It's as if BREN Esports, they're getting a lot of their ideas from the enemies that they faced along the way.
Yep, just like the Sharingan from Naruto. Did I say that right? Did I say that right? 2 minutes in, here's the first turtle. Two teams jockeying for position. Few picking the fight. That's going to be the Spiral Strangling by Maybe, although he does take quite a chunk of damage. Ace resetting the turtle here. From behind, in comes Flapteezy. Where do Karltzy be taking that gold buff down bottom lane. I think there's enough time for him to rotate. Oh, hold up. Clapped easy. Getting caught out here. Oh, that's going to be D committing already. He sidesteps the fight, and that's going to be Kaltizi with the battle mirror image out. Ruby DD wants to disengage. That's already a few ults spent.
That's some very big ults spent. The more key ultimates, unfortunately for Kaltizi here. Fortunately for Kaltizi, he survives all that damage, and still, Burmese Ghouls now just waiting for their ultimates to come back up off cooldown, and then BREN just needs to kind of maneuver the fight a little bit more.
Yeah, and as you can see, Burmese Ghouls, they're not getting the play that they're good at. They're not getting the first turtle. BREN Esports just controlling this area of the map so clean.
Yeah, same goes to the side of Burmese Ghost. Now, get in. Right now, over bottom side, it's Ruby DD. He's kind of suffering a lot of hits.
Yeah, he's taking a little bit too much damage overall, and I think at this point in time, BREN, they want to make sure that they are playing the stalemate game. Ace, he doesn't get hit by that perfect match, which is going to allow D to get into the backside. The bravest warrior comes in, but unfortunately, it's going to be the rest of the team coming through. It's going to be Kaltizi with the Black Dragon form. They trade 1 for 1, but it's still not looking good, as the pick potential coming out from the side of Burmese Ghouls is still a little better, and the rest of BREN Esports weren't able to keep up.
I like the execution there coming up from Burmese Ghouls. They did not back down on the idea, and they get rewarded. Flap here getting harassed a bit by Kid, and as you can see, Burmese Ghouls, they just want to take down a turret.
Oh, here we go. I think the Burmese Ghouls have committed so far, and there's no turning back. That's Rebo getting bursted down here by the Lone Wolf. That's D. That's going to be the Electro final blow, not hitting much, maybe a pulse or two. And right now, that's going to be disengage off camera. Maybe duels down Kaltizi and wins.
That is some great micro mechanics there. Kid abusing the fact that you can get pulled, and even a pick. D surviving a 1v4, hops over the wall, making sure that he's using the structure to gain that extra bit of distance. It pushes him on the other side, creating a large gap that BREN cannot close in on.
Burmese Ghouls, they're being very flexible in what they're able to do. They learned from the 2 games that came, that BREN Esports won. But maybe here, that is Imperial Justice hitting the ground.
He's already spent it, and right now they are overcommitted. Kaltizi with the Blazing Duet. He's protected by this wall. Flap Teasy gonna help with the kill. That's Rebo securing it. Down goes Kid. Oh, and Few getting threatened here by Ruby DD. Mind you, this is an assassin show with the high and dry. Sitting at 3 and 2. Burmese Ghouls have a 3K gold lead waiting for this second turtle.
But you know what? This is looking great for the side of Burmese Ghouls. I mean, Kaltizi is not getting the steady farm progression. For Few, he's having a hard time dealing a lot of damage just because he is forced to join every single fight.
Yeah, and you bring up some really great points here, because again, BREN, they cannot just keep on taking these fights again and again and again and again. Their teams still need that return of investment that Burmese Ghouls have been denying them. So unless BREN is able to try and pick those buffs up later on, it's going to be tough, because Burmese Ghouls doing a great job at just saying no, no, no.
Oh no, Rebo here. Getting jumped on. Nice. Yin Yang overturns a swap underneath the turret. There's a lot of damage. Fatal links by Lusty. And Ruby DD still stands. Way of the Dragon, but he will not survive. That's going to be 2 for none here on the side of BREN Esports. Some room to breathe for all of us.
I mean, I took off my blazer already. This has been a really intense game here. I feel like I am just sweating all the time at this point. Oh boy, yes. So coming into this game, and more importantly, we can talk about some important factors here while we're at the in-game pause. We can see that number 1, Kaltizi, yes, he is starting to get ahead here off of the over-aggression coming in from the Burmese Ghouls. However, you have to kind of commend them here for the side of BG, because now they're not playing as nervous. You can definitely see a little bit of their previous form.
Yeah, and of course, speaking of those sort of forms, right, they're also taking all these sort of playbooks out there. They face the side of... They've seen 10 Seconds Gaming Frost do this exact same thing with the Atlas as well as the Kagura. Just before we pause, the exact combo, Fatal Links can be coming right after or before that Yin Yang overturn.
Burmese Ghouls just woke up. They know that they have to start winning, so Burmese Ghouls just... I don't know. It seems to me like they're being more, they're being very careful than their most, extra careful rather than their most games. Just going into the fights, it's like they really just try to utilize the Lee Sun Shin, and this is why this is one of their best heroes. They know how to pick their fights, they know how to set the positioning. Now, for the side of the Cho, he's been winning it a lot, he's been catching Reboot a lot, but that two-man, that skirmish on the bottom lane, which they won, I don't really know what kind of effect will it have for BREN Esports, but it will stop Burmese Ghouls from being aggressive for the meantime.
It keeps BREN in the game for sure.
For sure.
And seeing how this draft has come to fruition, again, you see the intention before they locked it in, and now the execution. It's definitely divide and conquer. That's the only way that they can make this work. And right now, going back into the game, we are still sitting at 3-4, about 2,000 gold lead for the Burmese Ghouls. And yeah, that's 2 turrets ahead. Hold up, fight already breaking out. Not wasting any time, maybe. Dash is on out of the way. Burmese Ghouls, again, you'll never see them being there 3 or more in a single place. Like, they want to pick off these little fights. And again, Ace is just happy to help at any point.
And I think the Burmese Ghouls, obviously, it's still a little rough around the edges here. They need to start focusing on their side lanes. And although they're getting, they're getting some really good catches overall, their main focus should be, yes, major objectives. All tier 1s have been destroyed here. And if BREN Esports takes one back, no big deal. We're still going to pressure the other side of the map.
This is the Burmese Ghouls that we all know, and this is the Burmese Ghouls that their fans really love. This early game domination, this is a trademark of the Burmese Ghouls.
Oh, this fight is already broken out. Imperial Justice by Maybe. There's the Fatal Links by Lusty, but there's no damage present. Flap Easy, Black Dragon form, drawing a line that he's enforcing. Nobody goes through here. Carl Teasy is busy farming. That's going to be cleared with the Duran. So yeah, he can start going into Flap Teasy and make sure that Flap Teasy doesn't even heal off of the killing spree now. Orange, oh, I think it gets stolen away from Carl.
Wow, D is doing a really great job here. Few gets absolutely chunked out. A solo kill down a bot side? Flap Teasy? What happened? Oh, he had Kid nearby. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
This is tricky for the side of BREN Esports. This is the winning form of the Burmese Ghouls now. For Flap, he should be a bit more careful. If the enemy knows that he doesn't have the Black Dragon form, that is an automatic engage on his side.
Yep. Permission to attack, sir.
Permission to attack.
Oh, that's going to be a catch onto Few. Electo Final Blow using the iframes to get on out of there. But despite all this effort, despite surviving, they are going to lose another turret up top, and now only one stands in mid.
Now, just for a quick explanation for those of you who don't understand what iframes are, iframes is just a short form of invulnerability frames, a short period of time, or frames that the game uses to kind of calculate how calculate a measure of time in which you are going to be invulnerable. You can't take damage, the CC is not going to matter, and especially with Benedetta's eye for an eye, if you haven't played against her yet, well, you probably should be playing more ranked.
This is a high-level game, and one of the signs of or symbols that it is a high mechanic game is look at the kill score. 4-4-4, 8 minutes in. 8 minutes in, it's usually a blood battle already.
Imperial Justice here by Maybe, and yeah, they disengage. It's a false engage, but oh, they're forcing BREN, and I think Flap Easy bit the bait. That's going to be the Black Dragon form, and that's a check. All right, no ult on Flap Teasy. We can go the next time around.
Oh my goodness, they have insurance policies for the side of Burmese Ghouls. The moment Maybe is deciding, okay, maybe I should go for the Imperial Justice, he's allowed to go. Ace quickly uses his Mountain Chakra to give him a double confirmation whether to keep on going or to pull back out. And as soon as he did that, he saw, oh, 4 members of BREN are already too nearby. We got to back on out of there.
Now, BREN Esports, they're clearing the minion waves. I'll give them that, but Burmese Ghouls, they are setting up well for this Lord. Now, looking at the items here of Carl Teasy, he only has the Demon Hunter's sword. The sword, the Golden Staff will come out in just a bit, but still, look at the items of Ace. He is with the Blade of Despair and a newly built Endless Battle.
Oh. Honestly, look at the items of D. He, instead of going defensive, he's like, no, let's fight, bros. Give me that Bloodlust Axe. Give me that Blade of Despair. I want to be able to take you on 1v1. If it's a 1v4, even better, just more healing for me.
And this is, let's say this is a Kagura special. She's one of the heroes that can do this. She can send the umbrella to a nearby brush to just check who is in that area. And that eliminates the element of face checking for the side of BREN
Oh,
Esports.
and they face check into this Lord. Take the Black Dragon form. Imperial Justice already spent in by maybe. D gets blasted down. Rebo gets the kill. And I think Kaltizi as well used the Blazing Duet to clear that wave and win that fight. That's one pick-off, which gives Burmese Ghouls the sign, hey, Lord is not safe. We back out of here.
Oh, man. I honestly believe almost 100% Kid misclicked the Circling Eagle on the wrong target there. No way would you ever want to use it on Flapteezy.
You know what? Kid, the moment he went down, every single Burmese Ghouls player just went back and reset the Lord. And that is the discipline that got them into this Grand Finals.
I can only imagine what the comms sounded like, but yeah, Lusty is going to get hit by the Imperial Justice and walk away, but no real follow-up from here on out. But it just means that the rest of BG are going to be able to take this out, and now the fight begins.
That's going to be a takedown onto Lusty. Mountain Shocker here, going to be disincentivizing them, sticking together. Kaltizi picked off by Ruby DD. Few taken out by Ace, and now Flapteezy, the only one left because Rebo's going to back out. That's a double for Ace, a 4 for none, plus the Lord. Rebo's sweating it.
Burmese Ghouls. That is one of their trademarks. They go for a very sneaky Lord, and after that, you can see Ruby Didi just playing his game. He catches out Carl, punishes Carl, and now Carl's farm can't be felt just because he's respawning.
11k and Ace, he's going to be able to take out one more inhibitor. Rebo getting hit by literally everything. He quickly goes for the close umbrella to quickly transport himself, but Lloyd on towards the top side. All 3 inhibitors are done. Perfect match at Fatal Links. This could be it. BREN come in with an amazing blazing duet, but they got to get rid of that Lloyd. If Lloyd doesn't go down, then they might lose. Thank goodness BREN turned this around. 10k down. An amazing play coming in from Lusty.
Hashtag thank you, Lusty.
That was too close for comfort.
If only the members here on the side of BREN Esports had more damage, that could have been a wipe. But Burmese Ghouls, that just goes to show that they still have the lead in terms of the items. Now, looking at it, they are forcing to go to that middle lane. But Atlas, Lusty finding that opening.
Oh, that's so good. That literally saved them the game right there. The 10k down, they wouldn't have won any other way. Flapteezy, oh no, D actually missing the last hit there, and I think he might have been pretty close to killing Flap there. But overall, great job. BREN need to kind of hold on. They need to do what Burmese did in the previous game, which what they were supposed to do, which is hold out and allow them scale. Oh!
Circling Eagle here pulled by Kid on a blazing duet. Kaltizi, D coming in. Carl is in trouble. That's going to be maybe taking him down. And the Imperial Justice makes sure that there are no survivors. Flapteezy cordoning off the rest of Burmese Ghouls from their base. But he gets bursted down here by Ace. 2 for none already. It's looking grim for BREN Esports because the Burmese Ghouls have once more woken up. They are ready and they're looking for the finish.
Yes, and Burmese Ghouls, this looks like a 2-1 going. This is a 2-1 going to the side of Burmese Ghouls. BREN Esports. They made a bit of a complex lineup there.
This is looking more like it in the Grand Finals, and Burmese Ghouls gets their first corner at the back. And just look at how coordinated they are. Once they establish control, they set up checkpoints inside of jungle, making it definitely harder for the side of BREN Esports to bypass. But that real sneaky Lord really got them the game.
Yeah, they really abuse power spike mechanics there, knowing that 2 items, and especially with Hunter's Machete just fully stacked up and can actually allow him to solo the Lord with no issues whatsoever there. Great ideas, but overall, this is the Burmese Ghouls that we were waiting to see. A macro-based team that wants to make smarter decisions than their opponent. And right now, BREN, again, I don't think they made too many mistakes overall. However, high execution, and you gotta give it to him. Hashtag thank for Lusty, and hopefully he can do it one more time.
And yeah, it's BG being smart with their plays. BREN has the Atlas, then don't go for the 5-man fight. Just keep it as skirmishes, divide the team fight, and just win from there.
Divide and conquer tactics coming out there, and initially we do see a very heavy focus on towards structures coming in from the side of Burmese Ghouls, and it has definitely worked out for them. And then they start to spread their wings out all over the jungle side and slowly get those sort of picks. So, Leo, after this match, do you think that from the side of BREN, they need to fix any sort of things coming into this draft?
Oh yeah, I think BREN should watch out for the draft. More than the execution, I think it's the draft wherein they could have done a few adjustments. I guess they were just a little too confident this time around, sitting at the 2-0. Now at the 2-1, this might just kick them back into gear.
That's right. Let's see what's the secret sauce right here, because LaFell as well as Wolf will break down the formulas out there. And, well, analysts, we're going to be talking about all of this. Just, of course, gets all the secrets out.
Thank you very much. And right now, we can definitely see that the break was well used, because right now Burmese Ghoul, they look very, very well refreshed. And they look very, very strong in the game. Now, of course, there's a lot of things to talk about, but before that, my name is Afel, this is Wolf. Now we are talking about drafts, you know, like, all right, the Diggy has been banned, but why was banned from BREN Esports that really changed everything?
You know, I think that this is more about the playstyle of Burmese Ghouls. They were reminded of their own playstyle. That's what I'm trying to say. And now they have understood that they will never get their hands on the Diggy, because that's just how BREN Esports works. They will completely shut down one specific hero, the signature from a team. And
they respect
Diggy,
you.
They respect you so much. Diggy, for the third time, first banned by BREN Esports. This time, however, Burmese Ghouls, they kind of needed a fix. So what they did was the Matilda. This is my own analysis and my own perception on how Burmese Ghouls approached this game number 3. So instead of going and relying for the Diggy, since it's already banned, they went in for the Matilda to make a hyper carry out of Ace. And boy, it was effective.
And right now, we will look at the atomization between both of these teams to really see what is going on. And right now, let's look at the Chow, because the thing is, I like what Ruby Didi did. Throughout this game, his KDA is not the best, but he is the reason Claude keeps getting killed.
There was one time when Flap TZ, just looking at the items, that's a necklace, that's the boots and the Molten Essence and Queen's Wings. Removed that Oracle, and that was his items when Yisun Shin already had 3 big items. Like the Blade of Despair paired up with the Raptor Machete and the Endless Battle. There's just so much damage that comes out from Ace when BREN Esports cannot keep up. And this is because of the important stat that I will show you, towers. 10-0 for Burmese Ghouls. They have, how to say this? They have activated the hyper carry in Ace by 1, securing his lane, 2, supporting him all the way with this Matilda, and 3, getting the turrets for the team. Bonus goal that you get out of it, it just meant that Burmese Ghouls just captured their win condition much faster than BREN Esports did.
Yeah, and looking at the items again, Flap TZ, he does not have the Bloodless Axe, almost like he's playing the Baxia again. So maybe it's something that he has to, because we've seen that, all right, Burmese Ghouls with the Diggy, they look really strong. And BREN Esports, I even said, like, okay, when there's a Baxia, it's definitely going to Flap TZ. It's not going to be a Lassie kind of hero. And perhaps that is one of the things that they have to adjust. Like, you're not going to get the Baxia again, probably, so you need to adjust to that. And Ruby DD, the itemization going on, basically an on-hit kind of build with the Blade of Despair, with the Blade of Heptasis. And speaking of Ruby DD's Chow, right now we're going to look at the MVP of the game. It is going over to Ruby Didi with his Chow with a match KDA of 2-4. In this game, I would say that the kills are not that much, but every single player, every single individual, they did what they have to do. And Ruby Didi, his job is to make sure that Flap TZ doesn't get online, and that is a very, very high risk, high reward kind of job, because you could die first, but as long as he makes sure that the Claude dies, then it's basically a win on a team fight.
You know what, the side lane Cho, or the core Cho, it's not really favored in the recent match, but this is interesting. Like, this is probably one of the first ones that I'm seeing this kind of item build order for the Cho. He went for high and dry and went for all those pickup items, Blade of Despair, Heptasis, and that really reflected on how important his role was. His goal was to eliminate one member of BREN Esports as much as possible. That instant -1 that we get coming out from Burmese Ghouls, that allowed them to take the team fights much better. I want to say, in addition, I don't like the decision of BREN Esports in this particular game to put that Kagura in the side lanes. here's the thing. This is funny because when the draft was ready, we were talking, and I was kind of recommending Lapu-Lapu. It was picked up by Burmese Schools, and then I said, okay, this is automatically Kagura. Then Claude was picked up, but that was a bug. And then we confirmed that it was Kagura. And I say, okay, wow, this is BREN Esports with a standard draft, a game that they can easily win. But Benedetta should be side lane, and Kagura should be in the mid lane. Why is it important to have that kind of laning configuration from BREN Esports? Because of the fact that the Kagura plus the Atlas, it will definitely amplify the speed of farming for Carl TZ, and then the Benedetta and Yuzong can be played in the side lanes easily. So that would be a totally different story if they went for that kind of laning configuration.
Yeah, level 4 power spike is really strong in that kind of situation.
Absolutely.
Especially Kagura can always open the map, making sure that his pathing is always the safer pathing. And I agree. Being at the side lane doesn't really look like she has a lot of that 1v1 kill potential. Maybe she has, but in this game, it really doesn't work. But either way, we will be looking at their draft soon because I think the players are ready. And right now, we will be going again to the casters to continue with our match. So casters, please take it away.
Once again, welcome back to the Caster's Desk. This is the World Championship for the Mobile Legends Bang Bang M2 2020. It definitely has been quite the journey. And speaking of journey, we'd like to thank Tumi for being the partners in esports for M2, as the journey to become the champions of M2 has been perfected with the latest Tumi luggage and backpacks. You can bring your gear anywhere with you safely without any sort of worries at all. And of course, I forgot, be sure to check out Tumi.com to perfect your own journey and enjoy the M2 competition.
Never forget.
Never forget.
An established distributor of many well-consumed and loved brands around Asia, SUTL Group is a proud 2021 MLBB partner in esports for Fiji Water, Ike Chong's It's Cups, and Mountain Dew. To find out more, visit www.sutl.com.
That's right, and you guys better keep your eyes open and catch the live stream of this mega event. Mobile Legends Bang Bang M2 World Championship 2020 is held in Singapore for free on MeWatch. And we've seen 12 teams playing in action here in the M2 from 9 different countries competing for $300,000 US.
Now down to 2 teams, 2 countries, fighting for the lion's share of 300,000 big ones, and as well a go at that trophy. Is it there? Yeah, it's there. Right there.
It's visible.
Right.
It's visible here.
It's huge, by the way. Weighs a few kilograms, if I'm not mistaken.
Honestly, I don't know how much is the exact weight, but oh man, these players, they're ready to just grab it off of that turret that's placed in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the biceps on the guy who had to put it up there already was pretty impressive. But speaking of which, in this game, it's going to be pretty difficult. I would say it's about either or for BREN and Burmese Ghouls at this point in time, because it's not just about execution, because execution doesn't seem to be lacking on either side. It really does come down to those small micro and macro decisions at the end of the day.
They can actually, Burmese Ghouls, they can actually adapt quite fast because thinking about it, BREN picked Claude twice into the series. So you would expect that there is going to be an answer coming out here from the side of Burmese Ghouls. But at this point on, game number 3, they just went all out on that certain Claude pick. They shut it down so well. And BREN has to show something new.
Yeah, and of course, now they've already pulled out the card of the Fighter Cho in this sort of sense. So I'm expecting that, you know, BREN wants to do something about that. Honestly, not really something that you want to ban out in the first phase anyways, because that's going to be opening up a lot of priorities. But in phase number 2, we saw so many diversity going on in that previous game, which led up to many of all these choices being opened up. And Burmese Ghosts were really happy when they got this show in.
I think they have to start thinking about the draft a little differently here because, again, now there's these 2 new priority picks that have come out more times than they should, which is going to be the Diggy and as well as the Boxia, which has changed a lot because, I mean, coaches come in with a set line of drafts. It can only go a certain different way depending on what the first 3 picks are going to be. So now that they have to do something else, it really is just a battle of wits here.
Not only is it a battle of wits, it's also a battle night, as today we are very pleased to announce the launch of the new anniversary season of Magic Chess Blazing Hammer. The new adventure will officially begin on January 30th, coming pretty soon in a week. So there's going to be the new upgrade system blessing, little commander and map, as well as synergies being revamped. And with that, there's a free trial of advanced skins awaiting for all of you guys to just get your hands on. So make sure you log in on 30th January for Battle 9.
Did you mention Magic Chess? Is that a new season, really? Is that what Blazing Hammer is?
I believe so.
I'm so excited. After M2, after I'll take a break from all of this high-tier, hot action that's just all about the MLB B5v5. I can't wait to get some Magic Chess on. Now about a minute away from the draft again. I agree, Gideon, Butters, Contra, that we are going to see Diggy and Baksha banned. If you don't ban that, obviously a risk. Now where do you go from there? Do you stop these weird pick-off lineups? How do you even do that?
I think it's one of those things where it's now you're kind of forced into this corner where you have to start learning your opponent's strategy. For BREN, they got to figure out how exactly and what conditions need to be right to pull off this Diggy with the Aegis. And the same goes for the Burmese Ghouls. And I think it's slightly easier for them because we have seen them play Boxia before. So it's kind of on BREN here to figure out the Diggy pick because they can force it on. They can force it into the draft. And Burmese Ghouls, if they allow the Boxia to go through, either BREN or the Burmese Ghouls is going to nab it up, and again, it's shooting up towards that first pick.
Yeah. Considering Rebo's hero for game number 3, I don't think that was the best. I mean, he knows how to use the Kagura, that's for sure. But there are a lot more mages that could be utilized for Rebo.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, here's a big change of pace. Game number 3 we saw, or actually starting from game number 3, yeah, exactly. First ban, Diggy for BREN. First ban for Burmese Ghouls, Baksha. Now I think they're both running the risk and forcing each other, pushing each other's buttons.
Oh, wait.
Brody and Natalia, supported by BREN Esports and Burmese Ghouls, with the Matilda and Selena. The cogs are turning, the cogs are turning.
They didn't ban out the Boxia this time.
Is it worth it though?
No, they played a huge gamble here. They were saying, no way BREN is going to first pick Boxia, because at least then they hopefully have a way to kind of build around that composition to say, yes.
A trap?
It could be a trap in a way because Burmese Ghouls, they have 2 good picks that will come to their side.
Yeah.
And they're pretty much aware of what they need to get for this. And that's doing the Claude and the Yisun Shin.
That's all the firepower they need.
All right.
Oh,
Ace and Ruby DD, happy to be of service.
wow. So many guns and just 2 picks. I'm excited to see the second phase of draft because they need to negate every single one of all these members, of course, protecting these 2 marksmen itself. So what should BREN Esports try to go for here? Because we already got Attila being banned away. Expect to see something pretty huge coming in the way.
Yeah.
I personally, I would think that BREN Esports here would probably avoid Yutsong, probably go for a. Farsa and Lancelot are going to be the optional picks that I was thinking of. But initially, I was thinking maybe they avoid the Yutsong and then look to try and get something that can jump in towards the back line.
Yeah, they don't care about the Yuzhong at this point. And again, if you want backlines, few on the Farsa extends the backline and could even go for the sleight of hand, give it to Rebo, change up the mid hero overall, and yeah, Karltizi can jump with the dashes. And yeah, again, this is just characteristic of what's been making BREN Esports win all this time. In the first phase of the drafting, they always focus on at least 2 of the 3, if not all 3, of the mid lane heroes. That's the tank on Lusty, few with the support, and Karltizi as their jungler now. That's the tank onto maybe Burmese Ghouls pick up Jawhead.
Needing to actually get the lockdown on towards this Lancelot, they go in for this Jawhead, but late game Lancelot is not going to care about that at all, so still needing something beefier than this. And with that, Burmese Ghouls, they got that upper hand in terms of they picked up the second phase. taking a very long time here to decide because
Yeah.
they need to decipher what actually activates this Lancelot before we even talk about him getting all the way to his backline.
I mean, okay, so for the Burmese schools, I would be thinking, okay, wave clear, a kind of a way to say, hey, we're not going to give you a way to kind of just, you know, lunge, and then get to our backline, no problems whatsoever. So, you know, Loyi is probably a pretty good shout. The Alice is also pretty good to deny BREN Esports that dive ability in towards that backline, because remember, that Farsa doesn't necessarily have to go into the off lane.
BREN Esports, they might even have the idea right now to just go for a huge haul. This could be something on their list.
I don't know. I feel like the Yuzong is going to be really underpowered here if Burmese ghouls do decide to pick it up for themselves. If BREN, like, if BREN sees this, oh, you pick up the Yuzong, I pick up the Lapu Lapu. It's still a win-win situation for me.
But yeah, this is going to be very tricky for the side of BREN Esports. They need to thread this draft. Just think about it as walking on eggshells. Lapu Lapu was banned. BREN Esports, they really might have a Yuzhong on mind.
Yeah, so BG should ban Yuzong right here. Now that Lapu Lapu is gone, it's like, okay, we can get rid of it. Unless BREN opts to say, hey, we don't mind you getting Yuzong as long as we get the Wan. And even then, it's like, all right, it's still a plus almost.
Benedetta's still out there.
Again, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And it could go to Flap as well.
Yeah. No, if that goes to Flap, then what happens with Baksha? Lusty?
Oh, well, it could go to Rebo.
There you go. The gold lane, Benedetta. This hero just goes everywhere.
I love the way that you guys are thinking about, you know, role swaps.
Yeah, no.
How are you going to be playing this one out? Because it is so viable right now, especially in the grand scheme of things. Like you did point it out, 1-1 could be something that will be even more dangerous. And of course, already hard to catch the Lancelot. You don't want another plan B for BREN Esports to easily go into, not only execute members of the side of Burmese goals, but they can't easily get away with all these sort of pick-off potential coming from Burmese goals. So, one more ban for BREN Esports. Get in.
Harith, Lunox, also pretty good shout-outs here for the side of BREN. I don't think they would go for the Harley. Lori is definitely a really, really iffy personally. I personally believe that is definitely like not exactly the best of choices, but it does have its benefits unless Burmese ghouls, because I can't foresee what their final pick is going to be.
Yeah, mid lane is pretty open for the Burmese ghouls. There's so many options. And yeah, BREN Esports, they just choose to go ahead and ban out the Yuzhong. So, BREN Esports, what are they thinking? They could have picked it up themselves, although, yeah, you're right. It's FlapTZ who plays it, so it's kind of a lock. Now you can really see how much BREN Esports, Coach Ducky, wants his players to play what they really feel comfortable with.
Exactly, and they want a winning lane, and I think that's the most important thing here, especially for the Burmese ghouls as well. Both sides want to have a winning lane.
But I think Burmese ghouls, they are a little more flexible. There's more room to wiggle around.
That's true.
They're more comfortable with so much more positions, so much more willing to listen to Panda and hear him out.
Really looking at a probable Benedetta, but that won't really be the best. This is good. They lack magic damage, and they get magic damage.
Well, do they really have something that they can actually hold a fort with, though, coming from the side of Burmese goals? Because, yes, surefire power, that's definitely a great idea, but Jawhead right now has so much responsibility once he goes in, but BREN Esports could have possibly gone in for a free Harith pick that you mentioned.
I mean, I think at BREN, they've got a number of options. They could either go Popo Kupal, Loyi, Popo Kupal or Loyi, one or the other.
Oh, yeah.
They could go for the Eudora, which kind of fills up that position of that Popo and Kupal, but it's really dependent on do they want magic or do they want to have that physical damage. And at the end of the day, Harith, I think, is a pretty good shout, especially in the off lane. Oh, yeah, Savannah is still up on the field.
Oh.
That's going to be the tank for Lusty. And hold
Oh,
on,
wow.
it's Cho. Cho is going to be played by Lusty. Rebo on the far side. And yeah, this is, wow, how they circled around to this draft, the fundamental BREN Esports draft.
I like it. I like it. What about you, Butters?
This is strong from BREN Esports, but it has its limits. But
Okay.
Grok
Hold
is that answer, and it will stop a lot of people. It will stop a lot of heroes on their tracks to get to the backline.
Is this the violent Grok once more? Is this
Yeah.
the Grok with high and dry and a bloodlust axe and a
Yeah.
blade of despair?
I believe so. This might just be it, or you just want to set up those walls somewhere in between. They want to fight on those choke points. Yeah, let me cut your team into two, and I deal with one thing at a time.
I think it's going to be a 1-2-2 composition, to be fair here. I do think that the Grok is going to be roaming in between mid and the gold lane just to kind of clear it up to allow space for Yi Shin as well as the Lunox, both of which don't exactly do wave clear that great until the later stages of the game, especially for Yi Shin. But overall, I think this is going to be a tough one. It's going to be a real tough one for either side.
Yeah, just looking at how this is going here, Burmese Ghost trying to actually equalize the score to 2-2, but BREN Esports, I really do love the draft, and great shows honestly never go out of style. From M1 all the way up to its M2, you still see it in the grand finals. Moving in towards the land of Dawn here, back towards the caster's desk, and we will be moving in for game number 5.
And a lot of things ride on Few and Lusty's back. They have to set them kills for Carl and just let Carl do the work when he gets the items.
Let's look at the lane priority here, because again, the lane assignment, sorry. As we see Grok up into a top line going up against that Farsa, and we can see Lusty already trying to disrupt that purple buff as much as it can, but again, Retribution still too powerful of a spell.
And he did try. If he would have picked that up, that would hurt Burmese Ghouls a lot, but it was still a flicker spent for BREN Esports.
Yep, and that's something Burmese Ghouls will definitely remember. They'll say, okay, we know that at least for 2 minutes from now, Lusty doesn't have a flicker. So yeah, when this first turtle comes up online, then that's one less catch.
You're looking nervous there, Leo. What's going on, man?
I'm just wondering what this Grok is going to be like. Again, seeing that it's on Ruby DD. It's the high and dry. It's the one that deals a lot of damage. It's the one that wins duels. And I love how high
And
high risk lineups like this are able to just swing the metagame, and this is what Burmese Ghouls needed. This is the kind of lineup that just makes BREN Esports think like, okay, I haven't seen this much in scrims, it hasn't performed much in professional scenes, and this is the kind of specific answer you need to be able to get these series wins. And OD using the battle mirror image against FlapTZ down in the side lane here, the EXP lane, and grabbing him. Hold up, interesting use. Interesting decision to put the Claude in the XP lane.
Yep, they want the Claw to get the level 4 first. I think that's also kind of interesting as well, considering what the matchup is going to be like here. But notice the way that they're rotating, putting a little less priority over the mid lane once you have Lunox starting to get, once Lunox does hit that level 4. So, again, it's going to be a different set of lanes here for the Burmese Ghouls to kind of adapt and try to be efficient with their power level spikes.
BREN Esports, they have been beaten by Burmese Ghouls with this Lancelot pick. FlapTZ trying to go for maybe. Does maybe have the flicker? Yes, he does.
Poisson's here by FlapTZ, not going to be putting a beat on anyone. Nice flicker in. That's going to be 2 knocked up. And FlapTZ pulls the double. That's first blood. Make it a triple. They trade out FlapTZ and Few, but is it going to be worth it? Because FlapTZ is still alive. Phantom Execution keeps him alive. And there's a triple for the Prodigy. The turtle still stands. It's only D here up in his own lane. Man, I think Burmese Ghouls made the right call in saying, okay, you farm up, man, because this is the hot zone down here.
Yeah, that was huge for the side of BREN Esports, and D's going to be using his Blazing Duet to clear the waves really, really fast and maximize EXP. But you gotta give it to Kaltisi, and as well as Lusty, that 3-man G Kundo literally enabled Kaltisi to get so far ahead.
And Lusty,
that's going to be a trade-off. Hold up. Lusty pulling a Leo Murphy himself. That's going to be maybe blasted down. Another for Carl TZ. Thank you so much, Few, for pinning him down.
why are you thinking the player?
No, I mean, no, it's the player who said thank you.
Oh, okay. All right. I got ya.
It's
But
adding up.
still, Carl, this is the problem for these kinds of Groks. I mean, Grok is strong when you're sticking to the wall, but then again, you need to get a bit of levels just to proceed or just to have the progression in terms of being tanky. But if you actually have that high and dry, then that means you're going to go for a very violent Grok. Then that means probably a Bloodlust Axe would do, but you're not as tanky as you think sometimes you are.
Oh no, maybe he's taking way too much damage. He gets absolutely pinned down there. Even with the smart missile, it's not going to be enough. RubyDD is going to be the next to fall under the hands of Lusty. Great setups coming all across the board from BREN Esports.
And Carl Tease here just showing us, if you shut down this Lancelot pick when we first met, this is a new Lancelot special that I'm bringing to you guys right now.
Interesting clash there as now BREN Esports opens up this bottom lane. It's gonna be Kid. Oh, knocked up with the Way of the Dragon here by Lusty, and he's gonna be able to dash out maybe indeed, lacking damage still. I think I know what's going on now with this RubyDD Grok. He's expecting that it was BREN going to be taking it slow, but so far BREN have been answering back with 2 or 3 people.
Oh!
I don't do much now. Look at this. Kaltizi gets caught in. Oh! D is dealing a lot of damage. That's already the blazing a duet with a few stacks, pushing back Kaltizi and the rest of BREN Esports. So far, 8-2. Less than 2,000 in the lead is BREN, and we're sitting at 5 minutes waiting for another Lord about a minute away.
I gotta give it to Maybe there. He stopped Carl Teasy getting the Phantom Execution over the wall, and that would have been so huge for BREN if Carl Teasy was able to get that double kill there, but he's gonna do it one more time on top of D. He jumps away.
He's so brave, Carl Tease, using the brush to try and pick off that Claude. And as you can see, the intensity right now, ladies and gentlemen, on the stage, they're just screaming their lungs off.
Oh boy, it's only going to get more intense from here. BREN getting some good timers here, and now they want to punish Kid. He goes for the Brilliance, tries to close the distance, but it ain't going to be enough when they're going to get stopped in their tracks with the Phantom Execution of the Toys Poissons to completely cut them off from that reinforcement. Imperial Justice landing in RubyDD. He's going to say, nope, probably going to use his Power of Nature to kind of walk away here and absorb all of the damage. But at the end of the day, the Way of the Dragon is still back up, and they get bot tier 1.
And D going for that mid lane turret. They will get it, but they had to put 3 people on it just to get it. I mean, BREN Esports, in terms of turrets, they're equal. BREN Esports is not getting a lot of objectives. It's just that they have more control over the turtles.
Yeah, and they have more turtles, and right now, Lusty gonna get blasted out, and I think that's counting ults. That's none on Burmese Ghouls. So yeah, definitely uptime on BREN Esports now. It's on their side, and the third turtle, 100% take rate. Butters, this is what you were talking about, right? Same turret count, but when it comes to turtles, Carl TC just always online. I guess this is what you get when you're trying to farm up on so many different heroes.
But Burmese Ghouls, they do have time on their side. That's one of the things that they have, scaling.
That's true. I mean, how long can you do this for? Because eventually it's going to be the end game mechanic that BREN is looking for, and that is... Wait, hold on. Something's going on towards the top side. Ooh, D actually surviving with literally 1% of life left. And it looks like BREN still putting more gasoline on this fire.
But look at this, onto the middle lane. There is a fight happening.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be popping up even up top, so I guess we'll pick one of them. That's going to be off of Kid. And up top, it's Carl TZ. Maybe he wants to go ahead and flicker out, hide into the bush. That's going to be the Thorn Rose saving
Look at Lusty.
Carl TZ a little bit. Oh, Lusty's waiting. Lusty's waiting.
They're going to do it again.
Oh, underneath, that's going to be the Thorn Rose one more time. Maybe gets it. Imperial Justice pins down RubyDD, but he's A-okay. Charging up the clothesline from hell to clear out this way. But there's 4 members. Way of the Dragon by Lusty. And that's going to be 1 taken out alongside the turret.
Oh my goodness. Literally one of the more beautiful dives I've ever seen coming out of BREN Esports. The perfect juggle of aggro, the turret aggro coming in from Flap Teasy, and as well as few. Hats off to them. That was so clean.
And you can see here Few just staying there near that orange buff. They're baiting it so that they see Ace. And look at this.
Oh, the orange buff invade has turned into a full-on fight. Feathered airstrike here by Rebo, and now Ace wants to find some prey. Kid getting blasted down. Few gets him, but they trade out. Maybe gets the kill, 1-for-1 currently. Nice ejector to save D, and RubyDD wants to go clear the waves. Flap Teasy maintaining the pressure. That's going to be the disengage. Hold up! No, D wants more. Flap Teasy rolling out.
Okay, Turtle is definitely positioned onto the side of Burmese Ghouls. They have the key points into the map, and Guard doesn't care! He just goes in, look at this!
Way of the Dragon and the Feathered Airstrike! Oh, that's 2 down! Automatic for the Doc. ejector. He's looking for another patient. Wings by wings up. Lusty gonna be knocking up Kid. Where is you going, son? It's going to be a chase, and I think he's gonna survive. He's just waiting on the Order of Brilliance. They're gonna let go. That's the last turtle of the game. Ruby DD still alive. Keeping him up is the Ancient Blessing. So far, so good. Burmese School's good at keeping damage control in check. And now at 9 minutes, how long, Gideon? How long until one of their cores, D and Ace, can just come out and pick them up from here?
Look at you here just picking up those 3 armors, and look at this. They're just casually getting it just because a lot of the items here from beside are physical damage. And look at this. Ace going in. He gets the kill. Carl will be the first pickup, and BREN Sports, they might bow out of their first fight, but Flap still regening.
I was gonna say that might have been the first plot twist, but Flap surviving. Gideon.
Yeah, Flap surviving, rather interesting. It does show that he has a lot of tankiness built into his kit, which is definitely something notable. However, the Burmese Schools, they actually won the fight, which is rather surprising. They managed to catch out Carl Teasy and shutting him down for some huge, huge gold. But at the end of the day, it's all about that scaling of Burmese Schools. If this is the best that they can muster, they're going to have to make it work.
Yeah, at some point, those casual armors are going to be expiring, and now Rebo gets picked off from the back line. Flap Teasy running for his life. He's going to roll out, and that's going to be an ejector onto Few, plus the Imperial Justice keeping him alive. And now D taking his best here, doing his best to deal damage and back out. So far, so good. Another pick off by Burmese Ghouls.
Oh my goodness.
Oh! Wow, Mount Shocker keeping them in place. Can Ruby DD come in with a wild charge? It is off of cooldown. They go for the conversion. Wow, Burmese Ghouls back in here, closing the gap now just under 2,000.
BREN Esports need to be very careful on those brushes. BREN Esports rather. Burmese Ghouls are masters of that ambush strategy that they're doing.
Oh, Flap Teasy rolls into 4, but here comes the backup. The cavalry has arrived. Ace knocked out by Few. That's a pickoff. That's for free. I think they're just jockeying for position. Lord down bottom. They want to take as much as they can. Ruby down as well down bottom. It's going to be D. Oh, wow, making quick use. You could have held your breath there.
Yep, and that's the thing. Their main team fight capability is coming from D. He is making sure that he's literally the strongest person on his team, and even Yi Shin is mainly acting as utility for a large majority. He's got to outplay this. Battle Mirror Image, he gets hit by one. The third hit of G Kundo. The Brilliance comes out. Lusty is going to get chunked out, but the Blazing Duet is way too early. Baptiste is going to get right on top of it with the help of Few. It's going good, but maybe now all by himself. Where is Ace? Ace needs to get here to get his damage down. He gets onto Baptiste. He secures the kill. It's a 2-for-3 trade-off, but at the end of the day, the Burmese Ghouls, no worries. Nothing that BREN can do to converse, because Carl Teasy was the one who went down.
But now things are looking great for the side of Burmese Ghouls. Their Claude has items.
Yeah, all the more this becomes interesting. Ace here now picks up his endless battle. We're seeing a very, very small gold gap. Barely 1,000, right? As the minute goes by, let's check out the items here.
Okay, so that is going to be a Blade of Despair and an endless battle for Ace. D has the Wind of Nature, the Queen's Wings, the Demon Hunter Sword, and the Golden Staff.
Wow, I didn't realize how big he was. He literally has a scoreline of 1-1 and 3. Who would have thought he's already got 9K under his belt?
He does have an Avarice, and he got a lot of lanes on his side.
Oh, another fight occurs, though, and that's Ruby DD getting caught out. Way of the Dragon onto the Grok, but it doesn't last as long given he was next to a wall. All right. So far, Burmese Ghouls are getting better at this. Oh, nice ejector onto Few. Few gonna be dashing out, and in comes the Blazing Duet into the back line. Few goes down, Kid gets the kill, and now Flap Teasy looking low. He's not gonna be saved by the Turtles Poissons. That's gonna be 2 for free. Going to the Burmese Ghouls. Rebo pushing them back. This right here is all that BREN Esports can do. Slowly but surely, we're entering the end game, and Burmese Ghouls, once more, we mentioned earlier, they have the late game in the bag.
BREN
They do have the late game on the bag. But BREN Esports, can they hold on? Now, the pressure goes back to their side.
Yeah, I mean, BREN messed up there. They wasted 5 ultimates just to get a Grok, and they didn't even successfully do it. Burmese Ghouls pull the trigger, and that's what they want to do. Waste the ultimates from BREN and get a free fight as they do it again once more. They're trying to bait BREN into something they don't want to take.
Ooh, Carl Teasy gonna use a Cyclone Eye here. Oh no, Ace confirms the Lord take. Nice combo here. Oh, the shutdown immediately on the Caldizi. That's 2 for Burmese Ghouls. That's none for BREN Esports. Do mind you, the Lord has already been taken here. And just like that, BREN Esports came into the fight fresh, but they lost nonetheless. Burmese Ghouls showing us superior positioning and target prioritization.
And this is where Carl TZ really just wants to get the kill on D. But D has the Wind of Nature. Now, Feathered Airstrike is going to play a huge role into this defense.
Well, he's going to push on forward, and inevitably it's going to be okay. But right, they get a big shutdown onto Kid, which is great. But Kid isn't the main target here. Yes, it is a constant source of damage and forcing a lot of itemizations from BREN to go into Magic Resist. But at the end of the day, if they don't take out D, it's going to be a problem. And not to mention, Ace is starting to catch up in that target prioritization and becoming a huge problem. Few tries to go for the Imperial Justice. Is not looking good to here for the rest of the team. It's going into the back line. They're trying to make it work out, but Ace, he's on the run. Yishin Shin is probably going to go down, but Few, he doesn't actually get him. He's able to dash out of the way. The Traceless and is able to come up in time. And D is absolutely gigantic, taking out 2 members single-handedly. And you can see that Carl TZ does not want to be a part of that.
And this is BREN Esports. They're playing as individuals right now. Burmese Ghouls. This is the superior team fight, superior macro play that we expected from them since game number 1.
So far, so good here. BREN Esports, until that Lord take, it's been their game. But right now, Burmese Ghouls, they put BREN Esports into a position where if you get frustrated, you're going to lose.
And I think that's what BREN is. They are frustrated,
You can see it. You saw how much Few went for the chase, and there was no chance. It was 4 members of Burmese Ghouls there hiding in the bush, even if there were only 3 and the rest were putting down pressure elsewhere. Oh, BREN Esports, they really dropped the ball on this one currently. Down 4 turrets, down a Lord, behind about 7,000 gold.
I mean, honestly, one bad team fight for the side of Burmese Ghouls could easily turn BREN back on top and just, really even things out. But the people who need to keep their heads cool right now is Lusty and Carl TZ. These are the playmakers, the damage dealer and the playmaker. Rebo, he's been playing a very consistent game so far, but the problem is whenever they initiate the fight, they're out of his range of damage. They don't want him to force the wings by wings to get closer, because that puts him in a huge compromisable position.
Yeah, and now Burmese Ghouls, they are controlling the buffs here for the side of BREN Esports, and this is what BREN Esports did for the couple of games that they won here in this series. Burmese Ghouls, slowly but surely, just walking up to their base. They're not forcing anything. They're waiting for BREN Esports to be a bit impatient.
Somebody's going to have to make a mistake here. It's either BREN or the Burmese Ghouls. And BREN definitely, after making a couple of those, they've realized, all right, we've made too many. We've kind of lost the lead. We've kind of, put too much slack on this leash. And Burmese Ghouls, they are just waiting for this Lord. In the next 50 seconds or so, if somebody is going to get caught, it's not going to matter too much unless it starts happening right now at the 40-second mark where the death timers, you won't be able to reach the Lord in time after respawn.
Yeah, no kill here is free. No kill is free. All right, Few here picks up the glowing wand. Now they can confirm more kills. Maybe. I think maybe is the only one who can really afford to die given the pull yourself together. And look at this, a silent war between tanks.
Agreed, but again, you don't want to be the first one who dies. Few, he walks up because he knows, okay, at the end of the day, I can kind of get out. I have mechanics to do that, and it covers a lot of distance. But you can see that Lusty, he is hesitant. He's walking him, he's like, no, I don't want to be the one who goes down because he is so important to the team. That Wave the Dragon is going to be a make it or break it.
Look at this turtle. Look at this Lord, rather.
Yep.
This is the Luminous Lord.
He's up. Carl TZ picks up an Immortality. Now the fight is broken down. Flap TZ, Puissance after the ejector. We're taking it slow because I know that both teams don't want to pull the trigger here willy-nilly. This is going to matter. Whoever gets out of this, whether by a big margin or by a very small trade. Oh, hold up. D gets caught by the Imperial Justice. That's going to be the starting punch here from BREN Esports. And they burst down 1. That's going to be Rebo taken out. They're not looking for anything else. A trade. Where do you find it? Few going to be flickering out. They've already split the pie here, and now Flap TZ destroyed by maybe 2 for none so far, and Few is scared of Ruby DD. This is where Ruby DD wants you.
Few forced out of his base. He cannot join the defense. Ruby DD doesn't want to take him down here as much as possible. He just wants to not see him recall back to base.
Oh, that's going to be the Immortality pop onto Carl TZ. No! Not even the Phantom Execution or The Thorn Rose will save you, ladies and gentlemen. Lusty is the last to go, and that's going to be Burmese Ghouls taking game number 4.
Oh my goodness, thank God that this is a best of 7, because this really is a great adaptation, and overall the Burmese Ghouls managing to punch back, and they need that momentum back. BREN, they need to get that momentum, because once you see them run out of gas here, the Burmese Ghouls, they start sniffing out, and they will brick wall you until you just kill yourself of frustration.
The Burmese Ghouls have proved that this is a marathon, and now, of course, going for that reset, both sides 2-2. And still, we need 2 more games on either side to claim that championship title, but it's slow and steady winning the race right now.
It's the form of these players. Like BREN Esports introduced to them a new side of introduced to Burmese Ghouls a new side of their play. Now BG, they are introducing something new to BREN as well, and this is where it gets interesting. Now the pocket picks are out. The signature heroes are out. What do you do now in terms of drafting?
This is definitely very hard to deal against, because now you have another layer in between. It's like kind of like a 2-1-2 formation with the Jawhead as well as the Grok in the front line. Then the Lunox is the one that peels through everybody. And if that's not enough, okay, orders of the Brilliance being popped down, then the rest of them come in with the Blazing Duet and the Yishin Shin doing so much justice. But oh boy, what a game this is.
Yeah, this really was a great game, and overall, I think it came down to, you know, execution. BREN doing a great job in the early game, and then Burmese Ghoul doing a great job in towards that late game.
Yeah, they turned it around.
Let's see how they managed to get this comeback. It's time for the Alice, Wolf, as well as Lofel to break it down.
The equalizer of the game. We can definitely see that Burmese Ghouls, they are coming back to their own form, going of a full damage composition. They are looking so good. My name is Lofel, and this is Wolf. Right now, we're going to talk about what just happened.
Oh, this is definitely a good recovery for the side of Burmese Ghouls. Now, they kind of win games when it's kind of unorthodox, right? The Grok with the high end guy. By the way, I'm a big fan. Thank you for doing this. I'm a big Grok fan, and I've been doing the side lane, the off lane Grok. Usually I get reported, but thank you, Ruby Didi, for making it possible in the championship even.
No, the thing is, you just have to win so you don't get reported.
Now, that is actually
so
true.
If you lose, then that's on you.
That's
you know?
probably my problem, because I keep on losing and I'm not Ruby Didi. But kidding aside, this big stop that came from Burmese Ghouls was, I would say, I did not expect it at all. Because I'm looking at the lineup of BREN Esports, it's very standard. They have won with this before, and they can really easily win with it. In fact, they were winning in the early stage of the game. They are en route to their win condition. Unfortunately, their win condition also says that they cannot even die once or twice on Carl TZ.
Exactly, that was very, very right. And right now we're going to look at the itemization while continue talking about it. Speaking of items, right now look at the damage. Burmese Ghouls, 31,000 damage against 24,000. And it is one of the things that BREN Esports, they did kind of something wrong over here, where Lancelot in the early to the mid stage of the game, he was a monster. That was at one point like 8-0-4.
Exactly.
He was doing so good, but the thing is, that's just him. He's dealing the whole lot of damage. While Burmese Ghouls, they have the Yishin Shin, they have the Claude, they have even the Grok. You know, everyone here is doing damage. But the thing is, Burmese Ghouls, what good about them is actually D. This guy, he made sure that the game does not end early with the Blazing Duet, clearing the minions, giving enough time, and then at one point, because of a very good ejector, they killed Carl TZ, and after that, it's Burmese Ghouls' game.
That was a big stop, as I would like to describe for Burmese Ghouls. I want to say, this lineup is quite scary. When I look at it first, I said, okay, this is incredibly greedy. Like, imagine in the grand stage, in the championship stage, you pick up first the Claude and the Yishin Shin. How
almost completely revealing your draft.
That is definitely revealing your draft. Now, it's natural for BREN Esports to kind of draft against it, and in a way they did. I love the fact that they played aggressively. They went in for the Farsa and the Sylvana, the Farsa being the side laner, the flap shot that we're talking about, but it lost. Unfortunately. Now, Carl TZ was also playing well, and it came to a point where they were winning so much. But the thing is, Burmese Ghouls, they planned it all along. What they did was take this game to a macro level.
Yep.
So they just split the map, cleared out the side lanes, take those turrets, and let BREN Esports group up as 4. Yes, BREN Esports were winning those fights when they were going 4 versus 2 or 4 versus 3. But the fact of the matter is, this guy, the MVP, was farming all along.
Yeah, D did so well with the Claude with a KDA of 219. Not the highest level of kills on a Claude, but the thing is, he did what he was supposed to do. He stalled out the game long enough, and then the thing is, that one death, that is the most impressive thing, because as we can see, honestly, Kartizi a lot of times tried to chase out this Claude, but he was just a little bit too slippery, not get caught. And because he survived for so long, it becomes very, very difficult for BREN to push those towers and then end the game. So even just by not dying, he did a lot.
You know what? They went in for the Claude in the gold lane, which is, to me, very interesting. Why would they put Claude in the gold lane? This is actually a plan from Burmese Ghouls all along, because what they did was to really match the Claude with the Baksha, which is a hero that he can kind of bully in the lane. I mean, obviously Baksha will almost always win that matchup, but the fact of the matter is he will not be able to get the kill on the Claude. He will put him so low, he might bully him out of the lane, but the important thing is there's avarice on this Claude. Now, because he started in the EX lane, he got to level 4 so easily, so that the Blazing Duet will be available so easily, so quickly as well, and this allowed him to just move around the map, clear out the waves, and focus on farming and farming alone.
But anyways, now it's a 2-2. This is still a best of 7. We will be going to a short break to make sure that everyone is fresh enough. So don't go anywhere. We will be back right after this. See you then.
Chivalry is dead. I will revive it. I've got a bullet with your name on it.
I think it's very safe to say the two words on everyone's mind right now, this game. What a comeback so far by Burmese Ghouls, making it 2-2 against BREN Esports. And hey, we are at a grand final, and I believe this is how a grand final should be. Both teams really wanting to take home the crown for their team, and I dare say their nation as well. Welcome back to your M2 World Championship 2020. My name is Joachim Gomez. Before I hand you over to Lysander, Lafell, and Wolf, we gotta say a big thank you to all our partners as well as supporters, starting with Moonton for powering this entire event. Our friends over at the Singapore Tourism Board use the hashtag #PassionMadePossible. How about Skoga supporting esports talents and careers here in Singapore since 2008, IMDA, and not forgetting our partners Secret Lab, Tumi, SUTL, Singtel. We also have our friends over at Razer for giving us the official gaming gear, and MediaCorp as well as MeWatch. If you're watching us right now from MeWatch or at Cathay Cinemas, thank you so much for that. Not alone as always with my co-host Lysander, analyst Lafell, and Wolf. Have you all caught your breaths yet? Because I've been watching this game with you guys. You were screaming, the casters were screaming, the players were screaming. Describe the mood right now that both teams must be feeling.
Burmese Ghouls, you hear them once again in this stadium that we are at. I mean, I just hope that the crowd is here to hear how loud Burmese Ghouls can be, and the other teams. When BREN Esports were confident when they were winning, they were also kind of loud, but not as loud as Burmese Ghouls. And here's the thing, this is probably one of the first times where we heard Burmese Ghouls this loud.
Yes,
and they feel confident.
I agree.
That's hope.
That's
hope.
hope.
You know, they're hearing that they were down 0-2, and now it's 2-2. It's equalized, and I think that is the best kind of final for anyone. Makes it look hopeless, and then suddenly there's hope. I think that's the best kind of feeling.
The
is that
story,
it's to the edge of death, and then back. But now, equalize. I think now it's time for BREN to say, okay, what's up, guys? Why are we down 2 points? What is the plan here, Lafell?
Right now, as we can see in the finals, this is actually a very interesting thing where the team that is playing the more standard composition seems a little bit lost, while the team that is bringing something new is the one taking charge. Because as of right now, as we can see, that the teams that properly understand their win condition is winning. But a more important thing is that you know your enemy's win condition. And I think this is one of those things where BREN has been using the same thing over and over again, where the side of Burmese Ghouls, they can already telegraph. It's like, okay, they want to get Turtle, they want to win a few kills around mid-game, and then close it out before they lose their damage. So we just have to learn how to stall it out and then winning it in the late game stages. And that's exactly what we saw in the previous game.
Yeah, and I think this panel discussion, or this discourse discussion, we definitely need to talk about I think we need to give props. I think you as analysts, you already gave props, but I think props to BREN, fighting an entire day, but also props to Burmese Ghouls for doing some out-of-the-box thinking. What kind of marksman picks support emblems? What kind of marksman builds off damaged items? That is something that we really want to talk about. Anything else stands out to you guys?
Yeah, the biggest standout for Burmese Ghouls for me is that they really woke up after that 2-0. After starting 0-2, you now feel that it is actually Burmese Ghouls playing, right? Because this is what we are seeing in the past 3 days from them. They were winning those skirmishes in seemingly impossible, unfathomable ways. They have to be playing like the best Mobile Legends that they can be. They're like so much focused in those particular matches. Now, here's the thing. They were playing different heroes, like these out of the meta heroes, like the Grok, for example, but they play it in a meta-specific way, right? I don't know if I'm making sense, but they were creative with their picks, but the way they play it, it's very signature. It's
space making, they just run at the enemy, feed a few deaths, but they give the marksman time to farm.
Exactly, it's like space for Ace, right? For the past few days, and now they're doing it once again.
Wolf, I want to throw you back to what you said during the first break. You said you're not too sure whether Burmese Ghouls could be playing. Did you expect them to win clean 2 and come back 2-2?
I kind of say it's not that I expect them, I want them to. Because I think I was pretty clear the past few days that Burmese Ghouls made a fan out of me. Because they were they were executing so properly, and their tactician, whoever drafts and calls the shots, I have to talk to that guy. I want to take notes.
Any last add-ons, LaFell? I think the game is about to be ready in just a few short moments.
Yeah, so we've seen that the first 2 games, it was BREN all the way. The second 2 games is going to be BG all the way. So I kind of want the next 2 games to be a 1-1 kind of situation, but that's just me.
So we come back, right? If it goes 1-1, we'll come back.
And we're going to be talking about the final game. Will he go all the way? I wonder. We do have time for you to go restock on your snacks and your drinks as we hand you over to Gideon Q, Butters, Leo, as well as Contra. Take it away, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the caster's desk. We are going to game number 5, but before that, we would like to give our special thanks to our sponsor, Secret Lab, the award-winning gaming seats engineered for long hours of comfort and sitting form. Available in the Secret Lab official store in major e-commerces in Singapore, and you can just visit secretlab.co.
And don't forget that we would not want to forget to thank Singtel, our partner in esports, to unlock lag-free and ultra-fast gaming experience with Singapore's fastest 5G network. Keep calm and get the edge you need on your road to Mythic and MLBB with Singtel, the Singaporeans' fastest 5G network.
If you're still with us, thank you so much. It's been a long day, but it's not over yet. If you guys are watching the live stream event, you'll know that it's happening right here in beautiful Singapore City, and it's at the Cathay Cineleisure at Orchard. It's called MVP, and you'll be able to catch all the M2 action on a big cinema screen. What's more, you can also win attractive prizes when you take part in the activities and the lucky draws. MVP will be running all week long, and you can count the hours that's left in the show. You can get your tickets at the Cathay Cineplex's website, and you can also check out www.rsg.gg/MVP for more information. Shoutouts, and again, a huge thank you and a round of applause to everyone watching. You're sticking through. You are showing some support to our grand finalists here, the Philippines and Myanmar. If you're watching from Cathay Cinema, NUS, Sports Hub, and Bukit Emera Swimming Complex. Once more, my name is Leo. This right here is Contra, Gideon Q, and Butters, and we will be going into Game 5 as mentioned. And so far, it's been reset. It now turns again into a best of 3.
Yeah, or should you say that this is just a halfway checkpoint for both of these teams? You know, back in the first World Championship, it was a big reverse sweep where, you know, suddenly that tank for EVOS Legends just gives them all the fuel to get their way towards the finish line. But this time, it's just that neck and neck race that with Burmese Goals finally getting that acceleration in, things are looking on an even term, and well, they are definitely that diamond in the rough to look out for.
Yep, a little trip down memory lane from M1, but this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is M2. You can complete tasks and predict the champion to win M2 coins. Exchange these coins for exclusive rewards, which include the special avatar border, the exclusive skin, the battle emote, the sacred statue, and of course, that exclusive skin, it's Clint's Shadow Omen skin. You can gain it directly for 899 diamonds, and once more, this all happens until tonight. At the end of the night, the 24th of January. Now back into the draft. We're a minute away from commencing game number 5. What can we expect here? Again, that short discourse from our panelists and hosts, our analysts, the smart guys, if I will. They broke it down and they said, you know what? We're playing our fair games, and now we're trying to introduce these odd choices of like weird marksmen and just bodies being thrown at you so that there's space for ace. What can we expect in game 5? Who's going to be making the bigger moves?
Honestly, at this point in time, I would say Burmese Ghouls were probably going to make the bigger move here, especially since they get to decide which side of the map they're on.
Yeah, and one thing's clear. BREN Esports found the answer of the Baksha at game number 1, game number 2. Game number 4, Burmese Ghouls just freely gave it to them. And they still defeated BREN Esports. So, Burmese Ghouls, they have the strategy all figured out. It's just for BREN Esports right now, they do have to put in a lot of emphasis into not losing the draft.
A lot of pressure on BREN Esports right now. Going into the draft, it's Burmese Ghouls on the boat. Esmeralda taken out. BREN Esports, they get rid of the Diggy. That's a requirement as well. Burmese Ghouls, they get rid of the Baksha. Contra, your thoughts?
Yeah, and of course now Burmese Goals introducing a brand new problem, because that last game we saw that Lunox was quite an important factor coming in towards the third man to enter any sort of that team fight. And of course, Burmese Ghosts will make a certain priority pick here. What we see here is very standard heading in towards the first phase. We definitely don't expect any of these 4 to go through, but this final ban here, this is where you start to draw the lines here on what you must pick coming into this to secure that match point.
This is interesting. Like for BREN Esports, nothing much has changed. Burmese Ghouls, they ban out the Baksha just because they know that this is not going to be great for their side if ever BREN Esports has the red side or the first 2 picks.
Huh, interesting. Burmese Ghouls, I thought they were going to play a very similar composition to what they did in Game 4, but it looks like they're willing to give up the Yi Sun-shin and instead play for something more aggressive and snowbally like the Selena. I don't know whether this is going to be beneficial, but BREN, they're going to have to figure out a way to play a little bit more defensively or at the very least answer the aggression.
I think Kid here is just opening up what BREN Esports can do, like they're just letting them be, and I think that's what happened. Remember, from Game 4, we were asking when the draft happened, or is this a trap? Or is this a trap? And indeed it was. Now that's the jawhead locked in by BREN Esports. The Burmese Ghouls, they now have their last picks for this phase. Contra, what might they prioritize? It's very clear for BREN Esports, it's very clear that they want to give Karltizi, Few, and Lusty their heroes in the first phase, but what about Burmese Ghouls?
Burmese Ghouls here needs that sort of the big option here, and we're looking at the Claw being relatively popular right now. It's being left up here, or else moving to phase 2, you won't be seeing it left available. So, of course, pairing it with a Selena, you still need something that's pretty much solid in the front. Could they go for that Lunox again, or what?
Probably not, but yeah, I was guessing that they were going to go for Yuzong here because, again, it's going to be a pretty effective lane regardless of how you look at it, and they've already showed the Yi Sun-shin. So the question is, what are they going to do? Are they going to lock in the Wan for the side of BREN Esports? Because Wan can't clear as fast as Claude, so they won't be able to get away with being able to hyper farm and just clear out waves real quick and harass people and stuff like that.
And that's one of the things that Yi Sun-shin gives to his allies. Like if you would go for a double marksman setup with a Yi Sun-shin, it would make sense because a lot of the utilities from Yi Sun-shin makes him a very safe hero to go for the kills.
I feel bad for the Yi Sun-shin. Early on in Season 6, right? Project Next. The Yuzhong has always been an answer to the Yi Sun-shin. Like, you just dive in. As soon as you see Mountain Shocker and you know that the Yi Sun-shin is in range, just Black Dragon form, just go right into the face of this jungler, and they're going to have a bad day. Nice pickup by BREN Esports, though, before going into the second phase of banning. Benedetta going on to the off lane for them. Bans abound. That's going to be Sylvana taken up by BREN. Burmese Ghouls, what do they want to choke out?
Probably also Magic Dealers as well. Yep, Alice has been the consistent second phase ban for the side of the Burmese Ghouls. I wouldn't be too surprised if BREN decided to get rid of Lunox or arguably even Harith at this point in time. Personally, I think the Lunox would have been a better ban because at least they have the Jawhead and the Unstoppable Force to answer Harith if he drops down the Xamine Force. Unstoppable Force, flick him backwards, you're out of the zone, smack, smack, smack.
Well, I do have an opinion here because I've been talking about Cho quite a lot, haven't I? Like a couple of past games. But BREN Esports here might be having a clear run if they can actually get their hands on it. Like, just look at the Yuzong as well as Selena. Like, yeah, of course you can get those sort of hands on squishier targets. That's the best scenario, right? Like, just burst them down. But just creating another layer to enable the likes of Karltizi. So this is definitely going to be something that they can look into if they want, but instead they say no, we're going to be leaving this Cho out.
This is a direct attack on Dokuribo. Like, he is just starving for heroes.
Yeah, he's starving him from heroes overall, and Wan for the side of Burmese Ghouls, really smart, making sure that they can actually win the lanes. Cho already banned out from BREN's side, and it's something to keep note of here because, again, as the rest of the teams are going, they want to get their double pick to finish off the composition. They could go for the good old classics here, but I don't think they're not going to work as well, especially when, Tigra and Akai, at the beginning of the tournament, we were like, Akai's pretty good, and then by the end of the tournament, it's like, Akai's kind of bad.
And I think because of how the Ghouls have been playing, they have redefined the metagame. Already, you're able to play these tankless lineups or pseudo-tankless lineups, and they win games, they win series off of that. So right now, I'm guessing they might pull the same gambit and threaten the win. That's going to be the Harith on D or Ruby DD. I think Ruby DD. He does great with his Harith.
Yeah.
It's
from the
going-
gold
yeah.
lane. And then one more.
And
Oh!
Akai.
Oh, you're laughing about Akai, huh?
Yeah, I still think he's kind of bad right now. But look at the composition that BREN has right overall. Like, yes, you want to be able to kind of create that space. You're going to look for picks, and you're going to expect Akai to do that. The only thing I do agree with here for the Burmese Ghouls is that they needed a tank that could look for picks. I would have preferred Tigreal. At least he has a little bit more early game presence. Akai here, he's not going to be relevant until level 4. So keep that in mind, because BREN's composition here, as long as they play away from the Benedetta and the Khalid and kind of just focus on, defending themselves till level 4, that's when the Burmese Ghouls can start abusing Akai.
And given how these matches go, it's impossible for teams to just change their strategies and their playstyles on the fly.
Yeah.
Both BREN and Burmese Ghouls want to get that early turtle. And you're right, Akai don't do much before level 4, and Akai will be sitting at level 2 or 3 when that first turtle comes up.
Then again, some of these picks coming out from BREN Esports don't do anything really by the time that they don't hit the level 4. But you know what? Just looking at it, Akai is one of those tanks that are good against invade lineups.
Ooh.
At least.
Is that your read, Butters? Is that your read?
At least.
That was actually what I was thinking when we get into towards this game.
All right, well then, game number 5 is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. Burmese Ghouls versus BREN Esports. Let's get it.
Contra, talk to me more about this invade. What were some of your thoughts about how, defending the invade was going to look like?
Okay, speaking of that invade, right? You just look at the entirety of the lineup. It is about setting up for that blazing duet, and of course, a little bit of an invade coming in from the side of Lusty. Oh boy.
I mean, this is what you would expect when you see a Jawhead, right, Butters?
True.
But you know what? Few here getting jumped by D, and Few
Wait, don't actually die here.
doesn't
wait.
have the flicker, and that is the opening. That is the opening of a Lunox. If you don't have level 4, then that only means that you are going to be a main target here for Kid.
What is okay, I mean, all right, that's going to be fine, but I think that, you definitely should have really considered just sticking to the wave and abusing the fact that you can just be healing off the wave and you don't necessarily have to participate just yet. But now Few once again getting punished here by Kid.
This is looking really bad. He just entered the lane and one more Abyssal Arrow. Oh, just misses by a couple of centimeters right there. But, talking about this RV scenario here, of course, still having BREN Esports here going for those buffs is going to be causing a little tension here. Lusty gets bursted. As you can see, Kid is now 2-1-0 with Abyssal Arrow, really sniping him down.
Kid is so good at keeping BREN Esports at bay. He got 2 kills from BREN Esports already, and it doesn't seem like he's gonna stop soon.
Now remember what the payoff is right now, because Yishin Shin's level 4 and Ace is still at level 3. They bought a ton of time at the cost of 2 kills, unfortunately, to say the least. But let's see whether they can convert this into something important. Like Kid, he is going to need to make sure that he lands those Abyssal Arrows. He's got 2 kills under his belt, and Mystery Shop. If he ain't getting items and he ain't landing those Abyssal Arrows, he's just as good as dead.
Okay, first turtle fight, Kid goes down.
And it's going to be the engagement coming in from the side of BREN Esports. Great perfect pick as they connect that Abyssal Arrow, but they jump the gun. And this is where BREN Esports says, okay, we are coming right back at you with another 2 kills.
Just a bit of disrespect coming out from the side of Burmese Ghouls, but BREN, really good preemptive play, setting up their trenches early on.
They learned this as well from the side of Burmese Ghouls, like using that brush. That is a trademark. That is a move that comes from Burmese Ghouls. We've seen that in Game 3 and Game 4. Game 5, BREN Esports utilizing that Jawhead to do the same play.
Yeah, and now Burmese Ghouls is getting invaded once again. Kid tries to look for that catch, but here comes a little bit of defense coming in from Maybe. Tries to make sure that he's always in the front, soaking all the damages. And Diamond Force already popped up. Not enough to survive out of this 2v1 down by.
Wait, what is going on? Why is Kid still level 3? Maybe just hit level 4. Did Kid... Oh, looks like Kid just needs to get a little bit off of the Lethal Wanderer. It should be level 4. Yep, hits level 4 now. Maybe trying to make the play. Here comes... Oh, no. He is just caught down right now.
Oh, he's alive!
He's alive! No way! This time! No way! The Quicksand guard kept him alive! And now D, he's trying to finish him up, but he's by time Repo! He makes it out! No way! No way!
And insane. Can we get a replay on that? He just outplayed Purvy's goals. And what a finisher.
That was a good plan coming up from Burmese Goals. Now, they poured everything onto that pickoff, but I guess it wasn't really the best target.
It has to be an executional misplay, right? They literally were on top of him. Once again, the whirlwind is going to get on towards you, buddy. He gets it, Kid gets ejected backwards, and that's going to be the end of Selena almost instantaneously. Bren, can you feel their blood pumping? I can feel the momentum coming out of these boys.
I just feel that having a break gives this players new perspective on this.
Yeah, gotta thank those 8 it's coffees out there, you know, they've been getting themselves a little bit boosted up with that. And speaking of which, it's gonna be the turtle taken by BREN Esports again, going for the dive. They have managed to catch out maybe, and this is gonna be the ejector on towards Kid. How far can you run, Kid? Make your way out because they're coming for you. Now Ace forcing out a flicker. Calamity Reaper being brought by Ruby DD, but BREN Esports, they are just storming their way freely.
Now, Burmese Ghouls, they're having a bit of a problem in terms of execution. Baby is playing a good game, to be honest.
Yep.
He has put all the Hurricane Dance in on his belt, and it trapped a lot of people already. A lot of heroes on the side of BREN Esports. But the thing is, BREN Esports has been more responsive and more reactive to what Burmese Schools does.
I mean, those executional misplays could be a problem here as D is trying to lock down Rebo once more. Maybe he's walking up close, but again, here comes the Raging Sandstorm. He gets hit by the Missile Arrow. Kid should be able to secure this one. No way. They're going to let him live again. Not going to make the second mistake again as Ruby DD coming in with the Zaman Force. Going to be pushing on forward, and the Yishin Shin taking away and invading that purple buff here. But on top side, once again, it's going to be Flapteezy who's going to be locked down. And D, no! He actually gets him able to proc the passive and few. He's going to be on the run, but Lusty, even though he's there on the fight, it's a 2v3 situation, doesn't want to take it.
Okay, so for BREN Esports, yeah.
Rescue him in that sort of sense, so they have to give him up. Now, 4 versus 5 on this turtle. I think they also have to give even more back towards BREN Esports.
Credits to Lusty, he's doing an amazing job with these catches. However, he is collecting those kills when honestly it should be going to some other person. Hopefully that doesn't bite them in the butt later on into the game, but for now it's like, yay, okay, you've got the Athena shield, I don't mind tanking a couple of Abyssal Arrows.
Yeah. Kid is throwing those arrows, he's hitting those arrows, but the problem is Lusty is just always in his...
Oh! Punish!
Like that?
Again!
And
Unstoppable Force as well! The Zaman Force is going to be popped out of the Blazing Duet coming in from Ace, but Ace is kind of big here. He can't finish them off. Now Ruby DD is going to be the onslaught to try and push them down. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out. It's a 2-for-2 trade. It's looking real good. Can they get another one? Flapteezy jumps off the wall to try and pull through it. He catches him off. Ace still with the orange buff. This is going to be huge. Oh my goodness. What a great fight coming in from both of these teams, but BREN still coming up on top.
Yeah, you can definitely see that D was actually controlling the tempo right there, but let's have a look at the items, Butters. I'm pretty sure that now some of these players are pretty huge in this match.
Okay, Karltizi will go for the Endless Battle. He's just setting it up. But while for Ace, he has the Demon Hunter Sword, and that is going to go to a Golden Staff. That's pretty standard. But one of the players that you really have to look out for is Ruby DD. He has the Calamity Reaper, the Feather of Heaven, and that is going to be bad for BREN Esports if they do not take account of this hero. They need to look they need to be aware of their surroundings. They need to choose their fights. Don't fight on narrow spaces if they want to win this. But for Burmese Schools, if you want to win, place your fights there.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've been looking at all these sort of picks, right? Just look at Lusty. He's actually going in towards a full armor build as well as getting tanky as it goes. But he's managing that 5 kills every single time that he goes in for the effort. Just going for the unstoppable force, trying to catch either Kid or at times maybe because he's the first target that you see most of the time, right? So making sure that you don't have Hurricane Dance when you need it the most is going to be very vital.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Hurricane Dance is a huge spell, but the Mountain Chakra coming out from BREN Esports aside, really smart stuff, especially when they're taking Turtle. Burmese Ghouls, they want to go in, but only when it's inconspicuous, baby. He jumps on in with a 1,000-pounder and now forces out Lusty into that corner with the Hurricane Dance, forcing out the fight. Ruby Kid is going down. Ace already coming in with a blazing duet. It's not going to be enough. He does get the golden staff, but the rest of the team on BREN is on the run. Can they turn this around? He turns in and tries to go. Kid gets on top of him. This time, Force have been working out perfectly well, and they catch them out again. Kid, this wonder kid landing every important abyssal arrow yet.
What did we tell them about not going in for the jungle in phase, but Rainbow now going for the catch as well. He's trying to pick up Ruby DD. This is gonna look pretty bad because BREN Esports loses another one, leaving only Kaltizi behind.
BREN Esports, they're making these risky decisions that they shouldn't be even taking. They have the lead as of now, and after that, I think Burmese Ghouls, they know that they can fight at this point on 50 seconds on the timer on that Lord, and that is going to be the first major fight here that Burmese Ghouls is gonna take.
And I mean, the picks have been going really well. Let's look at the items one more time to get a better idea, because I did see Kaltizi actually getting the Endless Battle as well as the Blade of Despair all of a sudden, 2 in a row, and yeah, he is going to have a ton of damage already hitting level 15 on top of that.
You know what? Ace has his own items as well, and in terms of damage output, he has an AoE.
Uh-oh.
There we go. And it's going to mount the Shankar being used and expanded. Immediately reply with the Hurricane Dance as well, pinning him down towards the wall. Here comes Kaltizi trying to actually pop out that Electo into play. But my goodness, there's a split push coming off from the side of D. As Burmese Ghouls, they're tearing out some of all these members to different parts of the map. But Rebel now in the middle of it all. It's going to be Abyssal Arrow trying to connect towards the side of BREN Esports. Baptiste, he does get a lot of damage out towards the side of Ace, but Ace walks away alive. But still, D is on the back. They might just actually look for pigs, but we're going in for a little bit of room to just dissect this big fight that just erupted.
Oh my goodness, these fights have been absolutely ridiculous here, but right now the major issue that I'm seeing now, especially since the 8th minute, sorry, no, pull it back one more minute, the 7th minute of the game here, is the fact that Benedetta isn't exactly clearing her waves before she joins that fight, resulting in a lot of well, not even missed opportunities, just a lot of gold for free going over to the side of the Burmese Ghouls. Like, Yuzong getting a huge push on that top side shouldn't be happening.
And this is where BREN Esports, I think, is having tunnel vision. Like, they just want to win the fights, and they know that they can. But still, if it's going to be an even, it's going to be an even trade. Like, let's say 2 for 2.
Leo?
Then someone just, gets a push onto the bottom lane. That's going to the side of Burmese Ghouls.
Totally fair, but Leo, what are some of your thoughts on this while we're in this in-game pause?
This reminds me of Game 4. Remember Game 4? It was all BREN in the early game. And then as soon as the Marksman, Ace, and Ruby DD came online, it's over. It's over. Like, this is what it's turning about, and so far, it's frustrating to see BREN just fall for these traps. Again, like, oh, here's one. No, we got you. And then Burmese Ghouls turn around. And again, the accuracy of D on this Selena is just ridiculous.
Oh, you mean Kid, actually.
Kid. Kid. Well, yeah, Selena on Kid on Selena. It is what it is.
It honestly really is nasty. And Aaron, I want to get your thought on this because, again, the chase, just the fact that Burmese Ghouls, when they get that first initial pick, they really know how to chase you down.
Yeah, and immediately, that's where the Akai responds. And will all of them just topple all these sort of members all the way in towards that dive. And look at all these sort of these scenarios that has came by. Like, the Yuzong also roams freely. Like, it's something that, honestly, Burmese Ghouls definitely knows they're not going to be focusing onto his Yuzong anyways, and he gets that free reign up top, now opening up the map. So someone has to deal with this situation where when they go in towards fights, because this sort of split push can happen again.
That's how bad it is for BREN Esports right now. Is because D is having the time of his life up top, and the mere fact that out there is maybe this Akai. It just splits open the map and again gives D all the space to just wreak havoc in one single lane. Gideon, has this changed your mind? Do you like the Akai now? Are you a believer?
I'm not 100% believer on it. Butters, what do you think?
I think it's actually effective against this side of BREN Esports.
It stops you from making those important plays, like your positioning. You gotta keep it in check. But BREN Esports, they've been falling for these traps, and that is why I think Akai is working.
I don't think Akai is working at 100%. I would give it's working at 70% efficiency here.
Hey, 70% is better than less than 50.
Agreed. However, my biggest concern for the side of BREN Esports is mainly FlapTZ, because he knows he's supposed to be this big damage dealer for the team, and he feels like, I gotta be in this fight, but he's gotta believe that CarlTZ is able to pull this out, because at the end of the day, FlapTZ's job is to make sure they don't lose side objectives when these fights occur. He clears faster than the Yuzong. He rotates faster than the Yuzong every single time.
True enough, but speaking of buying time here, it's going to be maybe it being that sort of the non-value target that is always bugging the back lines or the front lines of the side of BREN Esports, and Emily buying time for this Lord, and it will be Burmese Ghost that gets it in the way. Flicker being popped there from the side of Lusty. Ace goes in for the place, Ace to win. They get that ping on towards the Giant, but look at maybe. He does lose a lot of health, but FlapTZ coming in to cut right through. Ruby DD tries to turn this one around. FlapTZ has to make a way to Ash right out, but the rest of BREN Esports, they're slowly being wiped away.
Oh my goodness, Burmese Ghouls. They're so good with these reinitiations. The counter engage, they go for a fake back, then BREN Esports chases. Burmese Ghouls just surprises them by pushing forward as well.
I mean, BREN, they are getting hot-headed here. They are really tunnel visioning on these situations. The moment the Lord is gone, yes, you can force, but again, I have to admit, even I would have fallen for something like that. But again, discipline is going to be key, because the Burmese Ghouls managed to outplay so many of them. FlapTZ ended up getting solo killed by Ruby DD, even though he did have the execute. Something you don't usually see.
Yeah, and just look at how huge Ace is at right now. But over the top side, there's also another situation going on. They're trying to force their way through as Ripple is already clearing out the wave. Over on the mid side, you can definitely see FlapTZ keeping an eye out as well. Oh, great damage onto Kid, but Missile Arrow does not land. Now, they do find a way to actually open up the bottom side, and the side lane's pretty much exposed.
Oh boy, it's going to be a game of scaling here. Ruby DD is able to get another inhibitor turret on top of everything else, and Ace, he comes in with the battle mirror image. He's also got the orange buff, so he does a bit of damage, bringing FlapTZ down to 50% of his HP.
Okay, maybe. This is something that Akai does as well, Gideon. Like, you can't really position yourself near the brushes just because there could be a hurricane dance that's about to hit you. And he does have the flicker as well. It's not the same as your Akai Petrify. He can position himself well with this.
And also, now that he's purchased that immortality, having 2 lives into play, and this can go on for so much longer. Mountain Shocker exposes Kid, so he's going to be falling back on FlapTZ, being pretty much close proximity. It might just be a pick right here. Brilliants have already been popped coming from the Lunox, but maybe trying to force the issue right now. BREN Esports respecting the dives, and Lusty gets caught out. Flickers away, but still having Ace picking him off. It's a mega kill for the Yuzong. 2 members down, and man, BREN Esports needs to defend for their lives right now.
And honestly, maybe is doing a really good job acting as a threat. FlapTZ is going to clear up the waves as soon as he can, but now Ruby DD is getting into that backline, drops that Salmon Force, gets that free kill, and BREN, they just got to let this one escape here. 10 more seconds till Lusty comes back up, but wait, there is no wave. Oh no, it's going to be FlapTZ who's going to get caught out here, stuck against the wall. That's going to be GG. Burmese Ghouls take the 5th round.
Burmese Ghouls at match point, and they are feeling good about this. They feel confident. You can hear them screaming. It's there. One more game for Burmese Ghouls. Just one more game.
They need that championship point in hand, and oh my goodness, they are sitting pretty and just needing that few more steps in towards the finish line. And Leo, honestly, is it signs that BREN Esports are losing a lot of energy to cross that hurdle?
I don't know if it's frustration, if it's fatigue, if it's just the way that they play. They're not used to battle of attrition like this. But if there's anything I'm seeing, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the caster's desk, is the fact that it's deja vu. This feels like game number 4. BREN obviously had the early half of that game up until the point wherein Burmese Ghouls were just reading them and telling them, all right, fight over here, pick off 1, 2. Fight over here, fight over here, pick off 1, 2. And then they just come to the point wherein BREN can't even leave their own base.
Oh boy, I totally agree, and especially towards the later stages of the game, Akai just became more and more relevant, especially when the Yuzong was pretty much unstoppable at that point of time. Really,
there is a difference. Well, I did discuss this earlier. There is a difference between the Akai Petrify and the Akai Flicker. The Akai Flicker has a lot of gap closers, the 1000 Pounder, the Flicker as well, and you saw that at the final play of Akai. He used that to just go and catch Carl and Flap, the TZ brothers, in the same wall.
And that's all that matters, right?
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. So Gideon, now that Burmese Ghouls have locked in their 3 games, they're 1 away from being named the M2 World Champions for 2020. Are you a believer now in the Akai? Has this changed your mind, or is 1 game just 1 game?
One convert this, and this will be more than that 50% that I mentioned.
Numbers, but I'm not 100% believer. I do think that there are very clear weaknesses, and you have to kind of give it the kid who kind of compensated for the fact that Akai was essentially a non-factor until he hit level 4.
All right, so he helped out. So Kid was the training wheels.
Yeah.
Slowly, Akai might get there, but
exactly.
we need more reps. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's our take on game number 5. Wow. Those words leave in my lips just gives me the shivers because it could all end in the very next minutes. All right, stay with us because we're going to have our analysts, Lafel and Wolf, breaking down game number 5. Boys, tell us.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And yeah, right now it's basically BG game point, where again, it looks like they were like, okay, we didn't do so good in the early and the mid stages, but in the late game, we got it. My name is Lafel, and this is Wolf. Wolf, talk us through it. What happened?
Oh man, Space for Ace is getting truer and truer every game that we watch Burmese Ghouls. And I think that this is off of the fact that everybody else from Burmese Ghouls understands Mobile Legends, particularly in understanding win conditions.
Exactly.
This particular game, they know that they are not that strong in the early stages. In fact, they have conceded some of the important objectives, but what they did not concede is the farm on the Claude. And I have to really give a lot of emphasis on how Kid was able to equalize this game. Here's the thing, they were losing so badly, but if you have a very volatile hero like that of the Selena, which was, by the way, first picked by the Burmese Ghouls, there's your difference maker.
And right now, let's look at the itemization as well as the hero use in this game. And again, Selena, just like you said, Kid on his Selena did work. First of all, in the early game, where BREN Esports, they tried to invade the jungle. But Selena, the traps, it hurts. And even win that 1v1 with the Lunox. And then after that, a lot of those crazy arrows hitting the targets from BREN Esports, creating a very easy initiation by the team of Burmese Ghouls, and making BREN Esports like, okay, could you stop? This kind of hurts.
Yeah. I want to say Khalid last pick by BREN Esports, it made a lot of sense to me. And Rebo played his heart out. There were many times where he won his lane, was able to bail out the members of Burmese Ghouls. He picked up a good itemization with the casual Dreadnought armor as well as the Deadly Blade that kind of countered the sustain from Burmese Ghouls. My oh my, he performed so well. Unfortunately for BREN Esports, it was a one-dimensional hero. that is the biggest problem you have with the Khalid. As strong as he is, you kind of know what he wants to do and what he brings to the table. Lusty played his heart out. Yisun was also good. However, BREN Esports, they were too focused on winning those big objectives that they forgot they have to control the map.
And right now, if we could hold this image for just a little while, I want to prove your point.
Yeah.
Where Burmese Ghouls, they understand, it's like, hey, BREN Esports, we watch your games. You like that turtle? Take it. 4 turtles to BREN Esports and 0 to Burmese Ghouls. They're like, we don't need that right now. As important as it is, if they play the turtle, BREN Esports will win 8 times out of 10. So they're like, we do not want to take the chance.
Yep.
We just want to farm. Look at a Claude. 6, 0, 11. Itemization. Basically almost full damage. Yes, the Wind of Nature is used in a more defensive kind of sense, but it's still attributing to the physical attack. As well as the Queen's Wings has the ability to sustain the damage just a little bit more. But the thing is, 6, 0, 11 is doing so good.
BREN Esports with the tempo and them understanding that they needed to take the turtles, it was so amazing to the point where I didn't notice that we had 4 turtles.
Yeah.
Because it is true. If you take the turtle for about 2 minutes to 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and you continuously get it, you'll get to up to 4 turtles. That's why BREN Esports were leading by so much. However, Burmese Ghouls, they're playmakers. Like, look at this guy, Akai, 0 and 5. But can you say that he played badly in this game? Absolutely not. He knew exactly what his role was in this game, which was to make the space for Ace. Do take note, the Granite and the Claude, they will take a lot of time for them to get the farm up, but Burmese Ghouls know how to do it.
And right now the MVP of the game is going over to Kid with the Selena, because KDA don't matter. It matters what you do in the game, in the early stages of the game. Just like what our casters say, he's the training wheels. But the thing is, this training wheel really helped them out in the early stages of the game, making sure that they proceed to the mid stages a little bit safely, and in the late stages, giving all that crucial information to make sure that they don't get caught, making sure that those arrows hit a very clean initiation. And the thing is, this kid is good.
Yeah, he ain't kidding. That's one of my posts down there. This guy, the Selena, really punished BREN Esports many times in this particular game. Do take note, BREN Esports, they were leading. And it's natural for a team who's leading to kind of go up front and collide head-on against their opponent's side. And even if you look at the heroes of BREN Esports, they kind of want to go in front of their opponents. Like, you have the Khalid, you have the Joy, you want to go inside those fights. But the 1-by-1 audition happened once again.
Yeah.
They went in one after the other, and they were picked apart easily by Burmese Ghouls.
Either way, right now, BREN Esports is do or die.
Or die.
Whatever they need, coffee or whatever, they gotta get it right now, because if they lose, this is potential the final game. But if they win, then we're gonna go all out. It's basically gonna be a best of 1 all over again. We are gonna look closely at the draft, but more importantly, we want to see how the game is played according to those phases. If the early game BREN Esports play aggressive enough, that's good. But if they don't end it by, say, 12 minutes, 40 minutes, then Burmese Ghouls have a very good chance to end it out.
You know what's really scary about this? Burmese Ghouls have proven that they can defeat the Flapsha.
Yeah.
They can defeat the Carl TZ Lancelot.
Yeah.
They can defeat the Farsa. They have shown that some of they can defeat the Yuzong as well, right?
Yeah.
Burmese Ghouls have shown so much, and it's gonna be really scary on the side of BREN Esports. However, we do want to see a game number 7, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But with how Burmese Ghouls have been performing in the past 3 games, this is really scary. They look like a team that's in it to get that trophy on top of that turret.
Either way, even without that Diggy, looks like Burmese Ghouls, they still have a ticking time bomb. Beat us out by this time. If not, it's done. Either way, we're gonna go straight to the casters to go straight to our game, potentially the last game. My name is Abel, this is Wolf. Casters, please take it away.
Thank you so much, LaFell and Wolf, breaking down game number 5. Before this all begins once more, we would like to thank Tumi for being the partner in esports for M2. As the journey to become the champion of M2 has been perfected with the latest Tumi luggage and backpack, you can bring your gear anywhere with you safely without worry. Be sure to check out Tumi.com to perfect your own journey and enjoy the M2 competition.
An established distributor of many well-loved consumer brands in Asia, the SUTL Group is proud to be ML Beat Me's partner in esports of 2021 for Fiji Water, iChung's It's Cups, and Mountain Dew. To find out more, visit www.sutl.com.
Catch the live streaming of the mega event Mobile Legends Bang Bang M2 World Championship 2020 held in Singapore for free on MeWatch. That's happening all the way from the 18th till today. So this is the very last match you're watching. If you're watching from MeWatch, what's good? A total of 12 teams have come to compete from 9 countries to win the lion's share of 300,000 USD, and it might all come to a head right here, right now. Game number 6. The Burmese are threatening a finish. And may I just say, I don't know, for our viewers, welcome, by the way. My name is Leo. This right here is Contra, Gideon Q, and Butters. And correct me if I'm saying this wrong, but Atanki Hakarar. That is
mean?
Burmese for impressive.
Very, very impressive indeed. And we saw a full throttle run coming from Burmese Skulls. And wow, now this is the championship point that we're talking about. It's time that if BREN Esports need to find that answer to just halt and put a break on this full speed Burmese Skulls side.
I don't know whether this is just the momentum here, because again, you can definitely see that, you know, when BREN starts off a game, they start really, really hot. And at that point in time, at least the idea for Burmese Ghouls, they understand, they wait for a particular power spike before taking back these fights. And they are very, very clear on when to do it as well.
Burmese Ghouls are really just disciplined. Like, from minute 1 to minute 20, their game won't change. They make adjustments here and there, but the core, the discipline, they don't take risky plays. If they ever take risky plays, then they make it a bit calculated. They go for the best path. Now for BREN Esports, they kind of have this, how do I say this? They really just, tunnel vision. They just want to get the kills as much as possible. They want to punish the first person they see on their side of the jungle. They're not really making the best plays for their side.
I see. They're getting frustrated, and I'm pretty sure, just the same as all of us here at the caster desk, viewers are sweating bullets, right? Viewers from Myanmar, they could walk away with the championship. Viewers from the Philippines, they're hoping for one more game, right?
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, Butters. I think it's frustration. I think it's frustration and a mix of fatigue because, do note, BREN Sports, they've been playing since the morning.
And,
yeah. On top of that, of course, they also have to be a little bit more far-sighted because that's what Burmese goals are. Like, immediately we saw that Selena coming in with the first pick, we're like, something so volatile, and you're going for the first pick, and it started to make so much more sense. They're looking for all these sort of setups alongside with the Akai. Yep, you got the mid shields coming in. As much as you don't trust Akai, you got to trust Panda, who's on stage drafting this game.
Panda has been drafting these games well. Ducky isn't really new to this certain kind of, let's say, certain kind of atmosphere, the grand finals. He's not new here, but for Panda, he's keeping his cool. He's making good pick. He's putting good drafts for his team, and his team really looks comfortable for Game 3, Game 4, Game 5.
Yeah, and I think honestly, Panda is just an inspiration to a lot, to basically everybody in Myanmar right now, because he's not, like previously in M1, one of his players not exactly having the best of times, he stood in and said, don't worry, I will be the one who will take his position. And they went pretty far into M1. And I quoted then, these guys have a lot of potential. Give them a year and they're going to be back to win it. And I honestly didn't think that they would do it. It feels like it was only yesterday, and look at them now.
Yeah, and some may say it felt more like a year that these guys are playing with each other, and wow, it just felt like yesterday was, you know, the other tournament back then in 2019, and wow, they just change so rapidly in every single match with those drafts.
Shocking everyone, right? Shocking everyone. Predictions out the window. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the reality we have. 2021 is the age of the Burmese ghouls. And right now, BREN Esports, they have to disprove that. It's on them. They have to work extra hard.
Yeah, and clearly now Panda is just sitting there, just waiting, just rubbing his hands, brewing his next big strategy that he's gonna go for game number 6. For BREN Esports here, they look worried. They really look worried.
I mean, this is match point. Like, when you get to that, honestly, a lot of people don't understand what it's like to be in an environment once you have reached the pinnacle, when you are right at the mountaintop. And guess what? When you hit that plateau of saying this is the highest peak, you look across the other side and you see somebody else who also reaches there. Only one of you can claim it here. And with that much pressure, everything sort of just fades away, and all the responsibilities and all the expectations are going to be on your shoulders. This is going to be the heaviest fight of these two teams' lives and careers.
Yep. Real quick before the draft begins, let's talk about why this happens, all right? How come 2 games in a row, BREN Esports owns the first half, and then later on, at a very, very defined moment, I'm guessing if the numbers are correct, it'll fall somewhere between the 10 to 12 minute mark. Things just fall sideways. We'll get to the answer later, all right? I want you guys to think about the answer. I want y'all to consider all the factors as to why it happened. We have 2 games to look back to, while I tell the good folks at home watching that we are pleased to announce the launch of the new anniversary season of Magic Chess Blazing Hammer. The new adventure will officially begin on January 30th. There's a new upgrading system called Blessing, new little commander and map. All synergies will be revamped, and free trial of advanced skins await you. Once more, this is Battle Night happening on January 30th. Log in to claim your free permanent skin. All right? Teacher Leo in the building, who wants to go first and try to answer.
Mr. Leo, pick me.
Get in queue.
Okay, so with the lineups that we've been seeing for the Burmese ghouls, for a large majority of the way they kind of been playing this game, they like to kind of play around, especially marksmen who have a item power spike, and specifically 2 item power spikes. Those are going to be in the meta ones that we're looking for. And the same goes for mages who are falling into that same sort of region here. The Hariths, the Lunox. By 12 minutes, if you are so far behind that you can't get 2 items, I don't know what to say. You've pretty much already lost the game. And BREN Esports so far, I think the major problem that they get into is once they hit that 11-minute mark, they're thinking, I gotta finish this game, I gotta finish this game, I gotta finish this game, and tunnel vision, making very careless plays when really they should be waiting for Lord.
Yeah, this is definitely the point out there, because they should play the bigger macro game out there just to ensure, okay, all these normal things that you should be looking out for. Waves, is it checked? Have you been pushing out those turrets? And if the Lord's not coming up by then, yeah, just keep repeating it.
All right. So far, answers in. Locking them in, all right. Information overload. Butters, before we get to your answer, that's the draft starting. Diggy taken out, as well as Yusen Shin by BREN Esports, and the Burmese Ghouls get rid of Esmeralda, waiting on that back shot. Now, why do you think BREN falls off?
I mean, it's all about the hero choices. Like, you pick an assassin, a Lancelot. Lancelot is hard up until, is easy to use up until the 12-minute mark. When you get past that first Lord, that is going to be your only opening. So it's hard to end. It's hard to end a game against Burmese Ghouls that fast.
Guys, there's a Brody online.
Natalia hasn't been banned out. Baxia hasn't been banned out. This is, ooh, boy. I don't know what to say about this, but it looks like BREN, being on the blue side, wants to take full advantage of the fact that, hey, you've been using Yishin Shin, Diggy, as well as Claude a little too efficiently. Chop, 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 chop.
Yeah.
Let's cut him right at the ankle.
Yeah, I guess 6 games in a row seems to be enough of a litmus test to understand what makes things tick. And right now, Burmese Ghouls say, all right, well, let's go back to what's been working. Yu Zhong and Baksha, no hard counter out there for you, BREN. This is the Burmese way. Contra, you were saying?
Yeah, I was about to say that, you know, they want to go back to the drawing board, not look towards assassins anymore. They were also great in playing all these marksmen, like, you know, we saw the Claude, but now you have that triple S tier pick, Brody.
Yeah.
So this triple S tier pick should be getting them pretty much a hit, but pairing it up is going to be pretty vital against this Baxia.
Natalia Silvana, that's my guess.
Oh,
It could be. And Alice and Aluna.
Completely
Okay.
off.
What?
Completely off.
What?
Okay, so they just address the problem at hand. They just pick it. They know Burmese schools really really ban out the Alice for the second phase.
Oh,
So yeah, it's fair. Like BREN Esports, they ban out the Diggy, right? They also ban the Claude. These are heroes that Burmese schools really use, and Ace plays a mean Claude.
I'm not going to disagree, but my big question is like, why would you play Alice into the Boxia? You know Boxia has already been locked in. You can visibly see it.
yeah, that's like obviously picking a rock in your opponent's paper, right?
Exactly, right?
yeah.
Like, you know, you're one move away from tic-tac-toe, and all of a sudden you're just like, you know what? I'm just going to throw it out there.
This is the defense right here. I just go off. But
Yeah.
back to the bans, we'll figure out what BREN is thinking here. Burmese Ghouls, they ban out the Jawhead. So yeah, obviously a read. Of the 3 rows in mid, they did not fill Lusty just yet. BREN Esports banning out the Harith. Yeah, I think this is a block on Ruby DD.
Definitely a block on towards his side, and now with Harith being banned away, they're definitely getting Burmese goals having so little to work with. But then again, I could be wrong here. But what are the chances here if BREN Esports go ahead, steal a copy of the homework once again, take a grok, an offensive grok, throw the bodies like how Burmese goals throw the bodies, now that they have that layer of the Lunox in between?
Very possible, but do note it's the Burmese Ghouls who are going to go for the pick first. As soon as things come back around. BREN Esports, they can ban out another side laner, or they can ban out a hero from Ace. Ace does not have a hero just yet.
Natalia, oh boy.
I feel that Hayabusa is going to be a great ban for the side of BREN Esports. It can close the gap between Brody and the Hayabusa, but BREN Esports just go for the Lapu Lapu. They could have picked that up for their side.
Beats me at this point. Beats me. But I think, you know, BREN, they just needed to ban something. I mean, Boxia would have been fine against the Lapu Lapu or the Yuzong in these situations. You just have to kind of wait till level 4, clear the waves, and do your job A-okay. Now, BREN, they're going to be locking in the Benedetta. However, previously, Burmese Ghouls going to be locking in the Farsa as their pick.
Okay, they're getting a Benedetta right here. Do you feel like this is a little bit greedy with the picks, or is this going to be that mid lane Benedetta that we are seeing right here?
I think it's okay. It's the best that they got. And right here, right now, this is the BREN Gambit. Like, they're just picking heroes that are good for them so far. And yeah, Burmese Ghouls. Butters, you said it earlier.
Oh.
They needed the Hayabusa. It did not get banned. And yeah, now I see why the Lapu Lapu might have been a burn.
This is deadly. Double assassin team composition for Burmese goals. The last time we saw a Hayabusa, do refresh me, when exactly was that?
It was when BREN took a series as well, earlier today.
Yeah.
Earlier today. Side lane Hayabusa.
Side lane Hayabusa. I don't know, because the important thing for specifically the Burmese Ghouls is just that wave control, and it's going to be a little bit difficult in the earlier stages of the game. You don't have the items, so you naturally have to depend on EXP to help you clear it out, but it's not the fastest. BREN on the other side, they've got some decent, and I say decent wave clear at best, but they are an extreme, but they do have a Brody, and I don't know if Brody can compensate for all of that.
Honestly, it's definitely a tough question to answer right now because you got double assassins on deck. So if that OG Shadow kill alongside with the Natalia trolling behind, like, what can you do?
I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Game number 6 could end right here, right now. This is the Burmese Ghouls versus BREN Esports. The age of Myanmar MLBB might as well be upon us.
You know, we're going in towards this championship point right here for the likes of Burmese goals, but I'm thinking that BREN Esports, they have finally gotten enough of that tenacity. They know that it's been so many matches that we've been playing upper brackets, lower brackets, and we've made it thus far. But now, it's going to be Lusty with a temp.
Okay, Lusty is going to try and deny maybe from this buff here. They want to just make sure that Ace, he goes and gets the wave, but still manages to come back to pick it up. Not so bad overall. Didn't even have to use Retribution. However, 3 executes for the side of Burmese Ghouls. They're going to make sure they kill that one poor soul.
And Carl Teasy here is going to be the possible target of those executes. Probably Flap as well, since they don't really have the hold on that Benedetta. But yeah, I mean, BREN Esports just go for the information. Burmese Ghouls just trying to get their level 4, and probably they're gonna have a team fight by the time that Ruby DD hits level 4.
Did Lusty just pop that flicker for not much of a reason, and now he's being stuck in between? I'm not too sure if this is definitely the good call coming from BREN Esports, but View tries to pressure the rest of Burmese Ghouls all the way backwards. So lucky enough, he will be able to escape. But Dado, this is first blood for Kaltizi.
And this is usually the pacing of our early game. BREN Esports gets the early lead. Burmese Ghouls become disciplined. They don't take the risky plays, and they usually take the game back before the mid-game spike hits.
I mean, we're going to have to wait and see whether this is going to be the same case again. It also depends on how much of a lead that BREN is able to develop. But on top side, a lot of contestant here, especially between Ruby DD and with the help of Kid. It's becoming a bit tough, but Kid doesn't necessarily... Oh, he's kind of low here. This is going to be risky for both sides. Now, the fight is going to work here. Kid is going to be able to find that execute on to Cho, and unfortunately, that's going to be Burmese Ghouls picking this up, and it's going to be Farsa going to be zoning the rest out. Few, he's kind of low, and now... Oh! The headshot with the flames!
What a long range. I think that's actually a max range flame shot that we're seeing. Trying to go in for the body block, but... Oh boy, still gets caught out. Feels bad, not gonna lie.
So what happened there? BREN Esports, they had Flap only at level 3. He didn't have the Electro Final Blow. Burmese Ghouls, their course, were at level 4, so they had a better time just controlling that certain fight.
Turtle, that much important, especially at a key point in the game. Now, BREN, okay, fine. You get it. You get 2 kills. We're able to trade 1. You get a turtle. No big deal. No big deal. Now you have to start looking for the punish. But Kid, he drops down the smoke screen as well with the help of D, actually behind him with the feather airstrike to make sure they are punishing Flapteezy as much as they can.
This is a battle between Lusty and Kid on how good they are at finding each other. So the one who's it is going to be Lusty, and the one who's hiding is always going to be Kid.
For sure, for sure. With the Kid on Kid, definitely it's a lot more harder in this game of hide and seek, but you know, Flapteezy is gonna have to contribute in towards the late game because at least the side of BREN Esports, they have some insurance, and here comes the fight.
Oh, maybe he's already starting the initiation with RD jumping into the backline. Flapteezy is now in trouble, but now Rebo taking a full hit of the Oki Shadow kill. Really clean initiation coming in from the Burmese Ghouls, but does BREN want to look for some, you know, retribution kills? No, it looks like they back away.
Over on the mid side though, D easily just flutters away, but opening up towards the top lane, Burmese Ghouls will be able to secure not only gold, but okay, just gold for the moment, but Lusty going for the catch on towards Ruby DD. They tried to make a run. Way the Dragon already connects, and there goes Yuzong.
Yep.
All right, now Burmese Ghouls, they do have the triple execute setup, but they don't have the flicker. So if they get caught out, they don't have that way to create a gap. BREN Esports, Burmese Ghouls really just wants to go at it at BREN Esports. They just want to stay near Rebo there, almost going down, and maybe to secure the kill.
Yep, they sacrifice Rebo for the sake of Turtle here, and now BREN Esports, they gotta make sure that they are constantly looking to try and initiate a lot of these fights. But Kid, he's gonna be walking in, doesn't drop the smoke screen and just wants to focus on the wave, maybe coming in from the flag, lands on top of Few for now, drops up to Toys Poissons, but again, no real initiation and no real commitment from the Burmese Ghouls.
Have you seen the pattern just yet? Every single time that they go for a turtle, it's like, yeah, go take the turtle, I'm gonna punish Rebo on the side lane, and this has been happening for many of these games, and now Flapteezy managed to actually make a little bit of the move, but maybe is so bold on this move, but he catches Few instead. Order spins being popped up as they all get knocked up in the air. Way of the Dragon will get a kill for Kaltizi.
Ruby DD trying to get on top of it, but it's not looking too good. He gets hit by the execute coming in from Maybe. Oh, ho, ho. A few manages to get on out of there. Now the Feather Airstrike does come down to Kitten, forcing a retreat, but he can't really do too much as he's just sitting down hoping he doesn't die. He knew he was going to die, so he just runs back, says emo, hello, hello, goes down over to Kaltizi.
Burmese schools, they got punished a bit. And now, that should be you, Contra. But BREN Esports, I was passing it to you, but BREN Esports, Ruby DD is their next target. Yu Zhong here gets called out, but do they have enough damage?
Yeah, they do, and they managed to get that pick, and that's what they were looking for. Honestly, y'all had a moment there. Y'all made eye contact. I felt real uncomfortable there for a second.
Do you want to join?
No, please. I'd like to look at the game.
It's not just there in 3 ways anyway. So with that, BREN Esports now focusing on towards the turret. I'm thinking that this kid is going pretty huge, but here comes Lusty, flushing out Maybe, but good news for BREN Esports, they finally get a turret right here, and the insurance policy that I mentioned in the form of Kaltizi actually working very well for them.
Yeah, it's going well, and you know, Ace, he's getting that push onto that mid lane here, but maybe he's trying to distract them as much as possible with the Toys Poissons. But Kaltizi, he's not really into the idea. Something is up, and Ruby DD does come from the engage on towards that flanking through mid, but few not all about it as well. It goes into that Brilliance, but this is where the fight is going to get interesting. Rebo can decide to actually go in. This is it. Lusty looking for an opportunity to jump on it. Ruby DD is trying to hold him up, but D into a sideways. They don't realize it. They're going in huge. The Feathered Airstrike trying to check down Few, but Lusty is able to cancel it off. They pick him off. There goes Kid. There goes D. And now the entire backline is gone. BREN can start focusing on the front line. Ruby DD is the next to fall. A double kill coming in from FlatTZ. And maybe he just needs to sacrifice his life to allow Ace to live for the greater good.
What did I tell you? This is a great activation coming from BREN Esports, and they can't find the answers to Kaltizi at all.
This is just a back and forth between these two teams. And Ace almost getting called out, but there is going to be Kid trying to take down Carl.
Can they pull this off, though? I mean, okay, Flameshot coming out just to double-check the brush here, but I have to give it to BREN Esports. Leslie, he has been such a pivotal point for this team, literally with at least a 70% KPA kill participation in this entire game. It is just phenomenal how he keeps on trying to get on D.
Yeah, just looking at the current situation here, like, a lot of things have been expended in that sort of fight, and BREN Esports having 1 minute away from that Lord, it's definitely going to be huge if they can get something out of this mid lane. Blade of Despair already being purchased by Ace.
Oh, D, he's once again, he's gonna really take it there. But now Few, he's on the run. He doesn't want to be a part of this no more. No, don't do it. He quickly goes into his brilliance here, but I don't think he's gonna survive. With the help of Lusty, could he maybe turn this around? Oh no,
Ruby.
Here comes the kill squad. It's gonna be Ruby DD chasing after Lusty here as maybe is trying to run Few down. If he doesn't take it front, finally using the execute, but here comes Ace. He's able to get that kill onto Lusty. It's gonna be a 3-for-1 trade. Look at FlatTZ. He's got the push onto top side.
Sword intent used, and they're just trying to go for the push. There is going to be minions onto the bottom side here on the side of BREN Esports, and they might just get the trade.
Yeah, and I definitely like this sort of trade, but Rebo has already arrived. Blood Ult Vein popped up, trying to tank every single hit coming from the side of his goals. He gets popped, but here comes Kaltizi, though. He's trying to tear them apart, but maybe he's trying to run for it. FlatTZ has just arrived, and hello, meet the Electo, and Kid coming in from the back as well. They tried to dance this one up. One last shot does it. It's a double kill for Kaltizi.
This is huge. BREN is gigantic here. I mean, you gotta give it to him. Brody was a problem, and I think everybody understands why.
TZ connection. This is the TZ brothers, and they do not want their dream to end here.
Ruby is coming right in to disrupt the flow, but here comes D. He gets popped up. This is looking pretty tough, but BREN Esports, they finally get the Lord, but here comes Rebo. He tries to hold on. Kaltizi, 12 minutes from dropping down. Maybe the last member standing in this Lord pit for Burmese goals.
Oh my goodness, this game.
It's a tug of
Back
war.
and forth, back and forth. This is a seesaw, a tug of war. Kid is there. He might go for Karl.
Oh, he goes in, Kid. He's looking for an opportunity. He can't seem to get it. The Brilliance has popped up in time. Burmese schools. They go down. Kaltizi still alive. No executes available. Oh my goodness, they finally start pulling ahead.
My word. Just look at the items. I can't go into explain more, Butters. You gotta do this.
Okay, alright, let me do this. Now, Kid is planning to go for the Blade of Despair. I've lost my words here. The items are now out. Let's just go
Lusty.
here. Lusty goes in, catches this Farsa, and that is going to be the first line of defense down. And these are going to be turrets falling very low. Few in the middle of everything. He has a lot of lifesteal.
Yeah, the re-engagement from Burmese Ghouls they are considering, but they realize no waves, no go. They don't have the members to pull this off, and not to mention, I mean, Flaptizi, they don't know exactly where he is. And once again, the inhibitors are under scrutiny here. And finally, they break the mid inhibitor. Few finally getting his Holy Crystal, and they want to push in for more.
This is the gameplay that we have been waiting for from the side of BREN Esports. Slow and steady does it, but look at Kid though. He's in a position right here. RubyDD, he tries to buy a little bit more time, looking for the flank angles here. They're looking for the kill onwards maybe, and they do get it. But Kid, he gets popped out. This is big news for BREN Esports as they are now reaching right in. Flaptizi goes in to take them down, but Yuzong managed to stop what they are looking for right there. And both Lusty and Flaptizi, they bow out.
What a defense coming in from the Burmese Ghouls here. That Oki Shadow Kill totaling to a 2.8k worth of damage.
Okay, what happened there was Burmese Ghouls were starting their fights with the Farsa getting caught out. They used their base as an advantage. They let the Farsa start at a late part of the fight to use the feathered airstrike, and that really gave them the win for that.
Oh, and D already with a feathered airstrike chunking Few out to literally 1 HP, and this is why BREN Esports has been targeting him time and time again.
Yeah, you can definitely notice that this itself has been pretty much on a seesaw ride, and Flaptizi looking for that catch. And from the back, it's going to be Flaptizi that will be cutting right in, trying to connect that Electo onto its members, but it's going to be Kit here that is getting chased down. So how long can this Natalia go?
He just has to buy time. Kid is just looking to buy as much time as possible as the rest of the team is rotating towards the bottom side of the map. However, mid-prior isn't there either, so regardless... Oh, Ace, he can't get...
We are dragging in towards the middle, and you can see the Lunox have been tearing them apart. And there goes RubyDD. He's getting chased by. Maybe it's retreating right now. This might just be a turp pick that they've been looking for, but look at how tanky he is. He's still diving over the backline. Flame Chop misses, but Lusty, he's making a way for a retreat. Flaptizi now tries to dive right back in towards the fight. Flaptizi, he tries to shred them, but
look at this, Cards! 1v3!
Oh, he wants to take this all for himself. RubyDD tries to go with the black tail, but he doesn't
go.
go. The Dragon Tail does not connect in time, and Flaptizi secures that kill. Oh boy, this fight. It's so close. It is so close. It comes down to a wire's edge, and we're seeing double ults coming out now.
That was a 1v3 Carl there. A pick off on him could have just ended the game, or could have given the next objective Lord to the side of Burmese Ghouls, but he did not hesitate. He just went in.
Speaking of hesitations here, there should be no hesitations on this Lord. BREN Esports, if they get this hands on this, Burmese Ghouls may not be able to come back anymore. Here comes Maybe though, just trying to get vision. Lord is now in favor of BREN Esports. All they have to do, go in for the reset, but Kid also trailing behind. They try to, of course, cost multiple bombs of threat, but how can Burmese Ghouls stop this?
Burmese Ghouls, they're just going to have to clear the waves. They have to play this smart. And BREN, they just did the recall, so this is a great opportunity because they slightly mistimed it. So they have about 3 seconds to pull this off. Lusty fighting a catch onto Maybe here. He gets away with the Dragon, but look at that backline. Few gets chucked out quickly as Ace going on in with the initiation coming in from RubyDD. However, the Toys Poissons, just to trail it off, they should be able to take out the Lord as well as the side empowered wave Lord minions as well.
Last minute, the Lord has already been bought from the side of Kaltizi. Now, they've already cleared out the Lord, so great execution coming from the side of Burmese Ghouls, but look at all the minions marching right in from the lower side. Maybe tries to pull this off, and Order of Brilliance in return for the feathered airstrike. BREN Esports looking to tear up the turret, and here comes the last Hura, and BREN Esports looking to push it in towards Game 7, and Burmese Ghost has to defend this one. Flapteasy goes in for the act, though, trying to cut off all these waves. The field gets versus down. Not looking all too good for BREN Esports right now. They are looking to turn this one around. Ace get kicked all the way towards the back. Lusty, Ripple, they're on the retreat. Same goes to Flapteasy. Kalteasy still got full health, though. He's looking to turn this one. Rubinity, he just have to advance forward with this sort of buff being in the up for contention. Definitely Kalteasy should be able to get this one, as this goes on a slight reset, only for one exchange.
Oh my goodness, BREN unable to crack open the Burmese schools. They do profit a lot with those two inhibitors, but can they finish off this game already? They've got that lead. However, if one more fight occurs and the Burmese schools defend against them, oh no, BREN, Flapteasy, he can't get caught out like this. The Courage Mask has already been popped here, but he wants to go for more. He's getting a bit greedy. He's going to get hit with the Electo, but now he's able to actually go for the eye for the eye. PG, they're stuck. They're out in the open. Kid, he's got to get on out of there. The rest of BREN, they're looking to cut them off. Ace, he's going to pull on through. Does he get hit by any CC? No, he doesn't. He goes into the Oki Shadow Kill 4. Maybe he's going to get caught out. Ace manages to make it out. Now, in the backline, Rubinity trying to finish off Flapteasy here. So close. Electo, final blow, makes it out. And this is going to be a free kill for Kalteasy as he takes out Rubinity. And the rest of the team is able to kind of peel them back 2-0 in favor of BREN.
Lusty, just the ever reliable Lusty, just getting the right moment to go for this. And he got the Winter Truncheon, but will it matter? Will it even matter?
No, it does not. Oki, Shadow Kill, go away. Kid, he calls it to the back line. He's trying to take out Fuel. Kid is the next to fall. The Brilliance, there it is. BREN bring it to a Game 7.
And we are going the distance, ladies and gentlemen. This fight is not over.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not what we all deserve as die-hard, ever-loving MLBB esports fans? Ladies and gentlemen, BREN Esports able to dig deep, and despite 2 games in a row, surrender and concede the halfway point, they figured out this time. And as Butters so aptly put it, we're going into Game 7.
Yeah, and now the championship point is up for grabs for both of them. Oh, I just wonder, BREN Esports, they must have definitely had some tears of joy just finally breaking that tempo.
Sigh of relief. And now the question remains on my head. Is the Claude... should be the Claude banned out from the hands of Burmese Ghouls?
The draft by BREN, those 3 bans.
Those 3 bans.
That's the magical 3.
Because when Ace gets his hands on that, or D gets their hands on that Claude, magic happens for the side of Burmese Ghouls.
Guys, we gotta calm down. Remember, they were on the blue side here, which means the Burmese Ghouls will get to decide which side they want to end on for this final game. This is the upper bracket advantage that we've all been waiting to see. And honestly, bringing it all the way to Game 7, they must be really happy about this.
Yeah, and the viewers as well from both Myanmar and the Philippines. Right now, we're going to be throwing it over to LaFell and Wolf and try to break down what's been going on so far. 6 games in a row. Tell us.
Thank you very much. And yeah, 6 games and we're going to the 7. We're going all the way, all 7 games, best of 7. My name is LaFell. This is Wolf. We have a lot to talk about, especially Kalteasy. We have to look at his items a little bit later, but that is enough for me. Wolf, tell me what happened in that game.
The entirety of the playoff, I would say the Brody was banned.
Yes.
Automatically.
Yes.
And Kalteasy just showed us why it was banned out. Now, in this particular case, Burmese Ghost, they let it out, and then they kind of thought, oh, maybe we can run away with this Natalia. And in the vacuum, it kind of makes sense because the most OP heroes out there, like your Yuzong, as well as the Brody, they do have counters. And at a certain point in time, Natalia used to be the answer to the Brody. But then again, Kalteasy played this so well. Alright, so there were many times in this particular game where we can't even see him because somebody else is doing the clashes. There was a time where Kalteasy was just farming and he went in for defensive items, and he was not even fished out by Burmese Ghosts.
Yeah, I could not see Natalia at all. Get it? Anyways, we will look at itemization soon because that is where I really want to talk about a few things, especially Carl DZ's items. But again, this